Hey guys, good to see y'all. Ready to rumble. Hey, thank you so much, Zine79. Yeah, you guys go ahead and like it if you don't mind. Okay, we got a lot to talk about today. I've got the physical mock-ups right over here. They came in. They were FedExed to me, so we can I can show you those things and talk about what we're doing there. Some of the things are going to change, but I'm really excited about that. We did make another stretch goal, I believe. So yeah, we cleared 300,000, and then we cleared the next one. So I've got a few different stretch goals that I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. No, there wasn't, was there? Hey, Terry Tibke, good to see you, man. There's a video just released on Nimble from Questing Beast. No, there wasn't. Don't say that. Don't say that. I love Ben Milton. I hope he was nice to me if he said something. Oh, oh, no way. Oh, man. Sorry, that's too loud. Copy. All right, guys. Well, we're going to do a live watch of Ben Milton's. No way. This is so cool. Wow. All right, guys. Yeah, we're gonna do a live watch of Questing Beast. Hope you're excited for that.
Welcome back to Questing Beast. I'm Ben. Today we're taking a look at this box set for Nimble, a fast tactical TTRPG. Now it says down here that it is 5e compatible, but that really means that it works with 5e adventures and things like that.
Yes. So I did get a lot of feedback. So I'll do a live commentary. Second for Nimble. All right, cool. I'm nervous seeing Ben take a look at it. I had no idea. That is super duper cool. Wow, that's amazing. I've watched him for a long time, and that's super cool. So I did do. Let me give me a second. I did. Man, I'm all flustered. So initially, so a big thing that a lot of people were complaining about. Not a lot of people, maybe like 4 people mentioned this. Were what they said was like, hey, 5e compatible. It's not really 5e compatible. To me, it is. Like, to me, like I can like run this and run that, and like it can run. I can teach someone who knows 5e this like instantly. Like, it's like, oh, instead of this is that. All right, I know it now. Or like I can just grab any 5e adventure. My buddy's running the recent Dragonlance campaign in Nimble. And like with a bunch of new people and all sorts of different like new people and kids and grown-ups, and he's just running Dragonlance and Nimble. So that's what I mean by 5e compatible. I know a lot of people thought that was overselling it, and I definitely don't want to like oversell anything or overpromise. I want to underpromise and overdeliver. So I did tweak the 5e compatible language to easily use your 5e content, and I think that I think people would have a hard time quibbling about that, at least. So specifically, any 5e adventure module, any 5e compatible monster, as written with minimal tweaks, any 5e spells and magical items, easily practice. So that's what I meant by 5e compatible. But I just wanted to be a little bit more, a little bit lighter with that, I guess. So I have moved away from that language with Nimble because I don't want to misrepresent anything. If I'm getting that feedback, then I'll listen to it. Okay, so we're doing a live watch of Ben Milton's thing. I was going to talk about some other stuff, so we'll watch through this and see what he says.
The actual rules of the game and the structure of characters looks quite different than what we see in typical D&D 5e games. Now I have here the box set, which I believe is out of print, but while I was preparing to make this video, I noticed that there is in fact a Kickstarter going on reprinting a lot of the Nimble core books. This video is not sponsored by Nimble at all. That's just a lucky coincidence. So you can head over there and check that out if you want to get some of the reprinted
That is a very lucky coincidence. Wow.
copies. So what's so special about this game? I typically don't look at a lot of 5e related stuff, but this whole game is a great example of how the 5e culture, the 5e gaming sphere, is, I believe, beginning to learn from the innovations in indie RPGs, especially in the old school Renaissance scene. The goal of this game is to take a lot of the things that people enjoy about 5e, the kind of high fantasy, epic heroes on a big adventure, but really boil it down, make it much faster, much cleaner.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys definitely like and subscribe to Questing Beast. A great YouTube channel. If you want to learn anything about game design, what makes a good book, definitely watch the channel. I'm sure everybody here already knows about him.
And make it a lot more tactical, where there are less choices to make, but those choices are much more impactful. For example, there's not hundreds of spells, maybe there's dozens instead, but each of them is useful in its own particular way. A lot of the cruft and a lot of the things that slow down a typical 5e game have been removed and replaced with a lot of innovations that make combat super quick and a lot more interesting to play. Now, this is actually a game that I have played. I played a session of it at a convention, and I had a lot of fun doing so. Here's some of the stuff that we get inside the box set. We have our core books. There's a little GM screen. It comes with a map, and it even has a whole bunch of cards for tracking your actions and for tracking all of your different spells. You can see right here, which is really cool. It makes it a lot easier to keep track of everything because you just put out your spells in front of you and you don't have to flip through the book to reference things. There's some cards here for keeping track of your actions, but I found you don't need to use those too much. But there is a number of item cards that also help you keep track of who has different kinds of potions and other special magic artifacts that you can hand out to players, but you don't need these to play. There's even a pack in here of some monsters and other NPCs that you can throw at the players. But in this video, what we're going to focus on is the rules themselves. How does this game play? What sets it apart from other RPGs that are out there? Before we start, though, a big thank you to everyone who helped support this channel.
Big thank you to Ben Milton for doing that. That's cool. I had no idea.
Over on the Questing Beast Patreon, they get access to the secret Discord where we chat about
I'm going to go subscribe to Ben's Patreon right after this.
RPGs, and they get access to all the bonus stuff that I'm making behind the scenes, like the game that I'm developing, Maze Knights. If you want to help support the channel as well, the link is down in the description below. All right, let's begin by taking a look at the core rules.
And I think the whole 5e compatible thing like turned off about as many people as it did like attracted. Yeah, Rossi. Yeah, Rossi draws. Yeah, so I think with the whole 5e compatible thing, like it turned off about as many people as it did. Like a lot of people like, oh, I don't want anything to do with 5e. Even like business people, like distributors that I reached out to, like, hey, I've got this thing, it's 5e compatible. They're like, oh, we don't do anything with 5e. It's like, oh, okay. So it's not a bad idea to move away from that, especially if some people felt like that language was too strong. Anyway.
One of the first things I noticed is that it's remarkably well constructed for being such a tiny little book.
Yeah.
Everything inside is stitch bound. You can see all the stitches right there along the inside. It's got ribbon bookmarks. All of the art design and the graphic design is really great and really easy to read. Clearly someone put a lot of love and attention into this. You even see things that are more typical for the OSR, like the end pages being used for reference materials.
He loves looking at end pages.
Looking things up when you need it in the middle of a game. I love that there's a list of the games that the author was inspired by while designing Nimble. For example, D&D 5e, of course, but also Pathfinder, Mouse Ritter, Into the Odd, my own game, Knave. The Dungeon Coach's DC 20, Tales of the Valiant, Cairn, Matt Colville, House DM. Lots of OSR inspiration and just indie RPG inspiration. And it was really interesting reading through the book and seeing the influence of all of those games pop out here and there. I love how there is a page right at the beginning here explaining how to be a good player in the game. It gives you principles that tell you not only what a good player is, but what kind of game this is. It's a game where you're expected to be heroic, but also to treat the world realistically. You're there to pay attention, ask questions, and take notes, be creative, embrace failure, and, which is a really big deal for me, respect everybody's time. One of the things that I dislike the most in RPGs is when things really drag and slow down. So a game that is quick, gets to the point, and shows the impact of actions is really important for me. All right, for stats, there are 4 main stats instead of the 6 that you typically find in D&D. So we just have strength, dexterity, intelligence, and will. These all go up to a max of +5, and 2 of them are labeled as key stats for each class. So certain classes' abilities will connect to key stats. It'll reference that specifically. There's also a list of skills here, a bit shorter than you would find in 5e. Arcana, Examination, Finesse, Influence, Insight, Might, Lore, Naturecraft, Perception, and Stealth. The bonuses to your 4 stats will affect the bonuses to your skills, but as you level up, you do get skill points that you can put into your skills to increase them. All your skill checks and saves are based on d20s, as in typical D&D. You have a difficulty class you're trying to hit, you roll a d20, add a number, try and get the DC, and you win. There's a system for advantage and disadvantage, but this works for all sorts of dice, not just d20s. For example, if you're rolling 2d6 and you gain advantage on that, you would add an extra die and then remove the smallest one after you roll all 3. You can also get double advantage or double disadvantage. For example, if this roll had double disadvantage, you would add 2 dice and then remove the 2 best ones. I like the system for hit points and dying here as well. When your hit points go to 0, you are not out of the game. Your character is not down. Instead, you can continue to fight, but you'll start accumulating wounds pretty quickly as you fight while having this dying condition. If you get up to 6 wounds, then you are actually permanently dead, and wounds heal much slower than your typical hit points do. There's a lot of elements in here that show how tactical combat is a higher priority. For example, things are all based on squares because it assumes you'll be using a square grid. And there's things like telling you how much
Spaces, but yes. Hexagons would work just fine, or you don't even need it.
damage you're going to take when you get pushed into things, indicating that shoving people around the battlefield and blasting them backward is going to be a more effective tactic. That reminds me of some rules from Matt Colville's Draw Steel. In combat, you have exactly 3 actions that you can take, just 3, which we've seen before in games like Pathfinder 2nd Edition. You want to attack 3 times, that's totally fine, but each attack after the first one is going to gain levels of disadvantage, so might not be best to do that too much. The rules for attacking here look very similar to what we see in games like Into the Odd, where you're not doing any 2-hit rolls, instead you're just dealing straight up damage. The exception to this is if you roll a 1, that counts as a miss, but apart from that, you'll just deal damage every time you attack. If the die is the highest result that it can roll, then it is an exploding critical hit and you roll for even more damage. So in theory, you can do a lot if you get very lucky. You know how in 5e, there's a spell slot system, but you're spending these slots to cast things, and it's kind of a abstract, kind of kludged together mana system. In this game, it says, no, it's just mana. You have mana points, you spend them. You want to spend more mana points, you do more damage, or you have a more powerful effect on your spell. So if you're just dealing straight up damage, then how does armor work? Well, that's where heroic reactions come in. Reactions cost 1 action and are performed when it is not your turn.
And one thing that I am going to tweak, it's not really rules change, just a wording tweak. On the hero sheet, the character sheet, instead of armor, it's going to say defense, because some dudes, like, they're wearing leather or cloth. They don't really have they don't have armor, but they're like fast and mobile. Any thoughts of alchemy? Yeah, so we're on the list for alchemy. Just whenever they get to it, they'll get to it. If you use alchemy, you can vote for Nimble, and it'll sort of move up their list, but we're on the list. So you can just change armor to defense. So like if you're very dexterous and fast, you can, they're swinging for your head, you could dodge out of the way, hit you on the shoulder, so it deals less damage. So that's one clarity thing that is being tweaked.
So if you spend all 3 actions on your turn, you're not going to be able to take reactions. For example, defend. Defend reduces damage from any single attack by your armor whenever you use this reaction. So you want to save up some actions if enemies are going to attack you so you can block their damage. This is already a whole bunch more tactical than what we see in 5e. You have to be much more careful about when and where you use your actions. You can also spend reactions to interpose or do opportunity attacks or help other people. Turn order in combat is very simple and straightforward, which I like. It's similar to my own game Knave, or in Shadowdark, for example, where when you are doing combat, you just go around the table in order. You don't have to change your turn order every time by rolling initiative. You just go around the table. Everyone always knows who's going to go next. Next up, we'll look at the basics of character creation and how heroes work. But first, a shout out to today's sponsor. It's been unseasonably warm here in Kansas, so I've been breaking out my basic t-shirts from this week's sponsor, Into the AM. Like everything I've received from them, they are super comfortable, they have just the right amount of stretch, and they are perfect as an everyday shirt.
I'm going to have to check out your sponsors, Ben. Thank you thank you for...
I wear these things all the time, and they are my basic tee of choice. The best way to grab them is in their basic tee packs, which are over 50% off right now, and they have lots of other great deals on their basic line of apparel, which you should definitely check out. Head on over to their site using my link down in the description below, and a big thanks to Into the AM for sponsoring this video.
I will do that, Ben.
Making a hero in this game is not very complicated. You're going to choose your class, choose your ancestry and background, and then just fill in a bunch of extra stuff on your character sheet. For your 4 basic stats, you're going to choose one of these.
Probably more comfortable, yeah.
arrays, either a standard array, a balanced, or a min-maxed one. Those are going to give bonuses to your skills right here, and then you're going to get some skill points that you can also distribute to customize further. We have inventory slots for equipment, as in my game Knave. Each hero has 10 plus strength slots. Most things take up 1 slot, but big stuff like two-handed weapons take up 2, and lots of really small things can be packed into 1 slot. Leveling up doesn't really use XP. It's more of a milestone system where you gain a level when the game master thinks you've done something sufficiently challenging. You're going to get some more hit points, you're going to get a skill point that you can drop into your skills, and there's going to be some class features depending on the class that you have. There's lots of different ancestries you can choose from, human, dwarf, elf, all the typical stuff, and they have just a short little bonus, not a lot you need to keep track of. For example, halflings get +1 to stealth. If you fail a save, you can succeed instead, once per safe rest. But there's plenty of options in here for exotic ancestries. If you want to be a dragonborn or a goblin or a kobold or a bird folk or a wordling or whatever. It's up to the game master, of course, to allow or disallow this stuff depending on what makes sense in their setting. You can also choose one of many different backgrounds here. For example, a taste for the finer things, which gives you advantage on influence checks with the upper class. Pick your adventuring motivation, and then get some equipment and some armor, which is all listed here. You can see that armor goes up to a maximum of 22 for mithril plate, which seems like an enormous amount of armor, because that's damage reduction, right, when you use the defend action. But if you don't have any actions to spend, then it's not going to help you at all. And of course, it defends against a single attack. So if lots of people are attacking you, well, it's going to block probably all the damage from one hit, but what about the rest of them? And then you have all your typical weapons and miscellaneous adventuring equipment that you can use for problem solving. Some magical items. Not a lot of these, really. They're mostly just ideas that you probably have to expand upon, maybe by combining different spells with different items. One of the cool ideas is that the wands here have this idea that seems to be drawn from Mouse Ritter, where in order to recharge them, you have to do something concrete in the world. For example, the wand of sacrifice here, it recharges when you plant it in a new garden and leave it undisturbed until the flowers bloom. So this could take up to a year to recharge. You'd want to use this as a template for a very powerful wand that does something very momentous. A bunch of different spells here. These are broken into different categories: fire, ice, lightning, necrotic, radiant, and wind. And each of those has different tiers. The tier indicates the amount of mana that you have to use to spend it. More information about that is in the classes book. One thing that's cool is how these different spell schools are designed to be used in a more tactical way, like a lot of the elements in this book. For example, you have a flame dart right here, which does some damage, but on a crit, it causes smoldering. Smoldering does nothing on its own, but it tags them with this new smoldering tag that your other fire spells will activate off of. So Ignite here will do 4d10 damage, but only to a smoldering target. So you'd want to use Flame Dart and then Ignite to get the most out of it. There's also Zap over here, which does 2d8 damage, but on a miss, the lightning fails to find ground and strikes you instead. That sounds like it's pretty bad, except that whenever you're hit by lightning, you become charged, and then maybe you can use Overload, which does 2d8 damage to others within reach, but you can only use it when you're already charged. So someone focusing on lightning spells is trying to hit themselves with lightning, power themselves up, and then blast everyone in the area. Or you could do cool stuff like Ride the Lightning, teleport up to 12 spaces away to a spot you can see. Adjacent creatures take a whole bunch of damage. Surviving creatures must take a strength save or be hurled back 3 spaces. And remember, there's rules for being knocked into things, which can cause even more damage. Then they're knocked prone and deafened for 1 day. There's lots of different spells like that. Stuff that requires combinations, stuff that knocks people around the battlefield, that makes things a lot more interesting on a moment-to-moment basis when you're fighting. You're not just standing still and hitting a guy over and over, things are moving. There's some good utility spells in here as well, like Ice gives you a floating disc to carry things. You have Fire with things like a Fire Step, where you can teleport to fire sources that you see. So if you've lit things around the battlefield, then you can teleport between them. That's a good way to combo stuff together. And I like some of these touches, like on Thought Leech. You can read the surface thoughts of creatures within reach, but creatures can sense you doing this and may not like it. So you'll have to deal with the consequences of using it. All right, next up, we'll take a look at the Heroes book, which goes through all of the different classes and explains how they work. And here they all are: Berserker, the Cheat, Commander, Hunter, Mage, Oathsworn, Shadowmancer, Shepherd, Songweaver, Stormshifter, Zephyr, and some extra subclasses. And I really love the formatting of each of these classes. We have a nice big splash image. We have a quick summary of what makes this class special. Then we have a breakdown of what happens at each level from 1 through 20, so you can immediately see how your class is going to progress, followed by what all the different special abilities mean, and the 2 subclasses that you can choose from. There's a lot of information in this book, a lot of special abilities, so we can't go through everything, but I love how interesting all of their abilities are. They're often stuff you wouldn't immediately expect. For example, the cheat class, who's like the thief, not the character from Homestar Runner, has creative accounting.
It's just like the
steal up to int actions from your next turn. You cannot use this 2 actions in a row. So you can take a whole bunch of actions back to back at the cost of being slower later. You can throw a dagger and it might hit a guy and then bounce back to your hand or bounce around the battlefield hitting multiple people. There's the commander who can boost your allies and give them commands so that you can control the battlefield better, get people back on their feet, force enemies to come after you. If you're a mage, you can either be an invoker of control or invoker of chaos, basically law and chaos. If you choose control, then once per round, you can pick an option from this table. Like, I insist, cast a cantrip for free, ignoring all disadvantage, it cannot miss. Or, no, choose a creature, it cannot harm a creature of your choice during its next turn. But if you use this too much, then you lose control, and the GM takes control of this control table and does a bunch of stuff that's bad for you. Whereas if you choose chaos, then whenever you cast a spell, you can choose to spend 1 less mana. Whenever you do this and whenever you crit, invoke chaos, roll on the chaos table. The chaos table is not in this book, it's in the GM book, so you don't really know what's going to come out of it. With each of the classes, you keep finding these fun little ideas that are implemented to make the game more surprising, but also a lot more varied and to create new problems all the time that you have to deal with as you fight a typical battle. They seem to be designed to make you feel distinct, to make you feel cool, without making you feel overpowered. As you're playing the game, other players are going to be regularly saying, oh, that's neat. I didn't know that we could do that. While at the same time, you're going to be in a lot of trouble unless you play your cards exactly right. At the back, there's some story-based subclasses for when certain things happen in-game. So the Oathsworn might become an Oathbreaker. The Commander could become a Spellblade, or the Shadowmancer a Reaver. There's also some ads for some coming soon classes like the Scion and the Hexbinder, which I think are getting released in that new Kickstarter that's going on right now. Now, the last book is the Game Master's Guide, which is mostly advice combined with a bestiary and a whole bunch of one-page dungeons or one-page adventures, which is a fantastic idea for a GM book. I really like this rule to be honest and trustworthy. Roll in the open so players know that you're not fudging, and telegraph danger. You are the player's eyes and ears. They cannot make meaningful decisions if they are in the dark about how deadly a situation is. That's something that gets brought up a lot in old school advice. I also want to point out how great the art is in this book. It's art that I feel would fit pretty well in a typical 5e Dungeon Master's Guide, but by and large, I actually like the art better than what I see in Wizards of the Coast stuff. It has a lot more character and a lot more flavor and interest than I typically see in official D&D stuff, and I just love the style of it. Like, for example, check out this dragon. That's a dragon with personality. And look at this advice for creating adventure, something that Wizards could really learn from. Create problems, not solutions. The players are going to figure out a way around whatever problems you throw at them, so don't come up with these paths where they have to do one particular thing. Let them figure things out for themselves. Give them cool places to actually explore. Don't gate information behind skill checks. Don't punish the players for their curiosity, bravery, or creativity. Don't roll dice too frequently. It's really solid stuff that I think 5e players could learn a lot from. Even the section on running monsters has some really good advice in it, especially with this unique encounters section. These are ways to shake up combat encounters so that they're a lot more interesting and tactically engaging. Like push them off, battle at very great heights. The most efficient way to win or lose is to push others off the edge, or where forced movement is otherwise greatly incentivized. Or maybe impending doom. Try an encounter that would otherwise be far too difficult, but the heroes get an extra round or two before the enemies can properly engage. Capture the flag. The heroes must take and keep possession of an item that the bad guys desperately want. All of these encourage players to try new tactics, to approach combat in a new way. Look at how tight and dense these monster stat blocks are. You just have some hearts for their health, you have their level, you have maybe a special ability, and what they do when they attack. And that's really all that you need. Using this format, you can come up with lots of monsters that just do one weird thing. And then when you put them into a battlefield in combination with each other, they can interact in interesting ways. Let's check out this acid pod, which has caustic eruption. On death, 46 acid damage to all adjacent enemies. So it's like a walking explosive barrel. You want to destroy it when it's far away, so it deals damage to all of its allies. But there's also a section for legendary enemies. If you want big boss monsters, or main villains of a campaign perhaps, you can grab one of these guys. Again, fantastic art, very straightforward mechanics that's very easy to parse. There's beholder-like creatures, you got demons, dragons, vampire lords, and this awesome Lovecraftian thing. But one of the smartest things about this book is the fact that it builds in lots of adventures ready to go. These adventures take place over just a couple of pages. If there's a dungeon, the dungeon map is right there on the page with you. They're structures that they're very easy to read, and they come with built-in GM advice so that if you're running games for the first time, you have a sense of what's actually going on behind the scenes. There's a little bit of a gazetteer of the setting that this is designed for, which is very easy to tweak. But after each little section describing the world, it has a little adventure to go along with it. And these slowly increase in level. So just by buying this short little GM book, you have enough content to run a lot of sessions. That makes a huge difference, especially for new GMs, because one of the biggest obstacles to actually running a role-playing game is getting the content to run. And this just gives it to you. Now, most of these aren't super complex or ambitious, but they're not trying to be. They're giving you a starting point so you have something to use as soon as you buy.
The legendary monsters, they do have move abilities. So you can choose one of the things. Someone will say each turn they move, or someone will say move and then do this.
Buy these books. And look, the maps are even jquazed, there are loops, there are multiple ways that you can approach these adventures. They're designed to not be super linear. Nimble is a really fascinating RPG. It's definitely geared more towards a 5e audience. It's more heroic, it's more action-packed than you would see in a typical grimy OSR dungeon crawl, which is more of the stuff I look at on this channel. But it has this wonderful focus on making it so much faster and easier to play. It's willing to learn from the game design laboratory that is the old school blogosphere and incorporate a lot of those ideas into this to make the gameplay much more engaging. The choices that you have to make on a turn-to-turn basis are a lot more interesting than in the 5e games that I've played in the past, and the impact of those choices is often greater as well. It's a game that rewards you for thinking carefully about how you approach all of these different problems. And it provides new game masters with the concrete tools that they need to get up and running really quickly. Overall, it's my favorite version of 5e, if you want to call it that. I think the classes are more interesting than in 5e, which is appealing to players. The tools make it much more appealing to game masters. And the fact that it is so dense and quick to read makes it more appealing for everybody. Overall, a really cool, thoughtful system, and I would love to see more game design like this. As usual, if you want to pick up a copy of it for yourself, I will put links down below, both to the Nimble store and to the Kickstarter that is currently going on, where they're doing a reprint of some of the books. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Oh man, sorry, I wasn't planning on that was amazing. Wow. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much. You guys go check out his channel, go subscribe to his channel. Watch it. Watch the thing. Help increase his view count, you guys. Oh, he won't let me paste it in here. Yeah, that was why won't it let me paste it? Wow, that was that was a great. I'm so glad that he liked it. I really look up to Ben a lot. I really look up to Ben Milton and Questing Beast a lot. He doesn't know this, but he's been a big mentor of mine. So I'm very much surprised and taken aback by that. Wow, you guys have to give me a minute to to process that. Yeah, the Gladysent, I think is how you say his newsletter. Yeah, you guys definitely should subscribe to the Gladysent, his newsletter. Wow, yeah, that was an awesome review. That was really cool. Judd, good to see you, man. Yeah, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I really appreciate him taking the time to do that. That was very, very cool of him to do that. Okay. What were we going to talk about today, guys? What were we going to talk about? That really threw me for a loop. Oh, okay. Let's talk about. Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about some of the stretch goals, guys. Let's talk about the stretch goals. Okay, so we hit 364 already, you guys, and we're officially 1 week into the campaign. And one weekend, we've already done a lot more than the previous campaign. So I really appreciate the outpouring of support. So we did unlock the 300,001 Nimble dice and GM screen. So every all of the let me go to. So if you get the extras box, it's going to come with the dice in it for free already, no additional charge. So it's going to come with that. So extras box is including that. And if you're getting the if you get the all-in tier, you have an extra box. So the all-in tier is getting the dice as well. If you don't need it all the stuff, but you do like the dice, then you can just get the dice just as an add-on. Okay. And I'm doing what I can to make them more affordable too. So they're not as premium priced as the previous ones. These are going to be manufactured by an actual die manufacturer, and they've got some cool things. If you guys haven't seen, they do have some cool stuff. If you guys haven't seen, so the dice, the highest face. Is a reversed gold and black, and everything else is like a super high visibility. So like even if it's far away, like way over here across the table, you can still see. And then the one's face is blank, which I think is really really cool. The D4, instead of the pyramidal D4, it is a prismatic rectangular prism D4, which I think is just a lot easier to pick up and hold and roll. It rolls better than just like falling. The D10, instead of having a 0, it actually has a 10 on the 10's face. So just little things like that that make them easier to roll, easier to see at the table. So and like they're just super handsome matte black and gold, which I really really like. So that's what the dice are. GM screen. I'm having Earl Land expand the art that he made for the cover to have it like to be more of a full scene, so you can see all of the armies of this dragon. And then we also get the Bringers of Burgog, an adventure. Okay, so that's what we already have unlocked. Let me go ahead. Um, no, you can keep all of the other D4s that you've collected and don't use. Keep those as your caltrops, but the good D4s you can you can use for playing. So the other ones you just use them as caltrops. So defending reduces damage by your defense. I think that makes sense. Some people defend by raising their shield. Some people defend by using their armor. Some people defend by sort of moving out of the way or doing other things. So it makes more sense. It's just one of those areas where we can line up the terminology with the fiction, and I think it works. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And there's more things being added, so I want to show you guys what we've got coming up for the next. I went ahead and put up like I think 2 or 3 more stretch goals, and I'll upload it soon. So 350, we've already got this unlocked. Environmental traps and hazards. So what do you do when you're fighting goblins and they make a trap, or you're exploring and there's like a pit trap or something, or traps in combat, or you're fighting the troglodytes and they're really really smelly, or they're doing different things and the things are falling down on your head, like cool stuff like that. So there were already going to be some, but I'm going to expand that out to have more environmental traps and hazards. They're going to have like they're going to basically be like stat blocks, so you can run them. They'll have like a level. And you'll be able to run them just like a monster. It'll be a monster probably that like can't move or whatever, but like you'll be able to just run them just like anything else. It'll be super easy to run and super easy for you guys to run with also. So they're cool. They can be. Ooh, I caught a typo. They will be cool. They'll be easy for the heroes to be creative and use them against the enemies too, which just makes for like the best memories, you guys. If like that one time you pushed the goblin into his own trap, then he lifted up and he swung into the other guy, and like you'll remember that until you're an old folk in the old folks home. So these are environmental traps and hazards, and then an adventure that features some of these environmental traps and hazards, just so you can sort of see what it looks like. This is a cool adventure by Zed, one of the one of the members of the Nimble community. He submitted that for one of our past design jams. If you've never been a part of the design jams, we run those every so often, and it's always been a lot of fun. So that's going to be including ceiling cave-ins and the stench, like the environmental hazard of the troglodytes, like smell and that kind of stuff, and like other things that are happening. So environmental traps and hazards. Stretch goal for 400,000. We're gonna have more companions, hirelings, and mounts. So a lot of people have been asking, well, what if I want to ride a horse into battle? Like, can I mounted combat? So they're going to be treated sort of like companions. So it'll just be like a little card or a little thing you can just write down, and you just have it next to your character. Here's my horse, and then it says what it does right there. So I think that kind of thing is going to be super duper cool. Very very easy to do that. You may not have mounted combat often. Maybe you only ever fight on horseback. Like you could do that, and it's going to be super easy rules using the mechanics and systems you already know and are used to, without adding all of these extra, fiddly things. It's going to use the actions that you already have. It's going to use all these things already. So what if there is a mount that instead of legs that has wheels? Well, that's a vehicle. So we can have cards. This is just a magic card, but we can have cards for that. What if it's a vehicle or a mount that is big enough for the whole party to sit on or ride? Well, now you have a ship, right? Maybe it's a boat or a skyship or some other thing, or just a large vehicle. It's going to be the same kind of thing. And what if your ship with all your party on it is fighting another group of bad guys on their other ship? Well, now we have ship combat. So it's not going to be like a separate combat system that you have to learn again. It's going to be like it's going to flow perfectly into what everybody already knows and loves, I think. So that is the goal for that. So they're going to be companions. They're going to be run just like monsters or just like heroes. It's not going to be additional things to keep track of. It's going to be pretty tight and pretty seamless. What about after that? We've got bastions, guys. Something that I really love is like some sort of place where you can have a fort and you can improve your fort, and it gives you cool little things. It shouldn't be fiddly. It shouldn't be a lot to keep track of. It shouldn't be like another sub game. But like, hey, do you want to add the wizard's tower or the fane for your shadowmancer? Well, if you add the wizard's tower, then the party gets this bonus. Maybe they can, like, once per safe rest, they can cast a spell that they don't even have access to. Maybe if you do the thing for the shepherd, maybe they'll be able to bless you in some cool way, once per safe rest, that kind of thing. So it's not going to be a whole complicated thing. We have to learn a lot of new rules and do all this sort of stuff. It's going to be nimble. It's going to be straightforward, fun to use, and it's going to be built into the story. So the Bastion rules is going to come with an adventure where you get to get a bastion. You get to get a fort, which I think is really cool. And you can start improving it, and it gives a place for the heroes to spend their gold and to like build the story out of. It's the home base that they always can come home to. And then I went ahead and added the 500,000 goal. This one may not be complete yet, but I want to do some Titans. Like, I've already got the Tarask, but I've got a bunch of art for some cool Titans that I want to design around. So, of course, there's like the Tarask, like the highest, the strongest of the strongest monsters, ones that you may not even be able to defeat at level 20. But there's also going to be like lower level Titans. Like Shelob from Lord of the Rings. I think it was Shelob. Like this great spider titan that is for like level 7 heroes. There's lower level titans, like titans spread out throughout like the level curve. I think that kind of thing would be super cool, and some adventure surrounding them. So I'd love to do some big bad monsters where it's more than just like a legendary monster. It's more of it's more of an experience. It's hard to explain. Maybe like one monster would have multiple different stat blocks, for instance. That kind of thing might be super duper cool. But how can we do like titanic, huge monsters in a nimble way, where it's not just a slugfest? And like, now why does this Titan only do like 2d20 damage? Like it seems like if this thing steps on you, you'll just die instantly. Okay, yeah. So there has to be some special stuff going on there to make that interesting. So those are the next few stretch goals, you guys. I'm going to add it to the Kickstarter page after this stream is done, but I wanted to give you guys a sneak preview since you guys are hanging out watching here. So let's let's see what questions we had so far. Are we about the cold books? Are we getting digital updates for everything? PDF Markdown? Yes. So the errata is going to be, I think I should be able to re-release the PDFs, just an update with the errata, with the, if you should already have the Markdown files, Obsidian Vault files, that should already be available, but also the community-made translations. There's like French, Spanish, German, a few other translations that have been made by the community. So currently we have Spanish is done, French is done, Italian is more than halfway, German is almost 2/3 of the way, Polish is halfway. So we Chinese is more than almost 2/3 of the way done. So these are just community-made translations that are coming. So I'm going to release those with it as well. Like the new content, of course, is not going to be included in that, but I do want to make sure people have the latest version of the PDF. Okay. You love the stretch goals? All right, all right. Cool. Yeah, I can typo Danverous. All right, thank you. I can spell, I can't type. Dangerous. I don't see Danverous. There it is. I see Danverous. Okay, thank you, Judd. What a chud. Troglodyte Adventure, yeah. Load-bearing load-bearing monsters, yeah. Environments. Okay. Should we wait to buy the PDFs until the Kickstarter is over, as it will have new content? If you're talking about the web store, you can go ahead and get the PDFs if you want them right away. But the latest PDFs on the Kickstarter is going to have more content in it. So it's up to you if you want to wait 3 more weeks. They should be released like right away, right after the crowdfunder ends. So it's up to you. If you want access to it now, then you can do that. But if you want to wait for the latest and greatest, then you can do that. Except for mountain ships, yeah, Lewis, your ship thing was really, really cool. So I might use some of that. So we'll chat later if you want. But yeah, thinking of them like companions, I think is the way to do it. Matt says, do you think this will include rules for making your own traps, companions, bastions? Maybe. I don't know that. If once I make them, it's not clear enough how to make them yourself, then yeah, I can certainly add that. But hopefully, like you'll be able to. There'll be enough examples where you can see. Oh, okay, a trap has this, and this. Can't wait for ship rules. Cool. All right. No, so this is different than the dungeoneering rules. That might have to be like a 550 or 600, 600,000 stretch goal, because the dungeoneering rules is going to take a good bit more work. But we'll see. That this is something different. Yeah, Lost on the Cloud Whales definitely could. Yes, you can access the basic rules for free, or on the website, or just at the bottom of the at the bottom here, just click free quick start rules. There it is. It's right there, and you don't have to log in or do any shenanigans or anything. You have the heroes, the stats, the skills. You have everything that you need to play, including running monsters and 2 adventures, and I think 3 or 4 pre-made heroes with their spells. So yeah, there you go. So that's there for free. Just one click, you can have it. The level 15 thoracic shoulder stand block, yeah. Is there a way to just get cards, old and new monster cards? No. So inside the extras box, so that is where that is where all the cards are going to be. There's lots of reasons for that, for like taxes and shipping and fulfillment and customs. There's a lot of reasons to have like all the game pieces together and not with any of the books. So that's why that is. In the future, like a year or 2 from now, I might be able to have like individual decks of cards for different classes or something, or like monster expansions. I'm not sure, but right now I can't divide everything up. There's just too many different combinations of things for it to be a feasible feasible thing. Yeah, so each stretch goal I wanted to give some like not just stretch goals for the highest tier. I wanted to give stretch goals for like all the different people. Yeah, I think we talked about that. Yeah, a way to prevent it from feeling like a chore, like, yeah, it's basically like, hey, if you spend this much money, you can get this boon, and that's basically it. It can't be a chore, right? It's like once you get into like pages and pages and pages of rules for it, and you have to do this and you have to do that, then it can definitely be a chore. Like I don't want a whole bunch of stuff to learn or to track or to do. Like just let me build the wizard's tower or like the training grounds for the commander. Um, and like the GM says, all right, it's going to cost this much gold, and you have to wait, a month to do it. All right, we built it. It's built. Now you get this thing. You're like, and you can role play it out. You can do different things. Or it could be like a quest reward, do this quest for the king and he will bequeath you with, he'll put a mage's tower on your bastion, on your fort. So it's just once you get into like a bunch of rules, then it can be overbearing and it can become too much. Okay. Typo mounted. Man, you guys are good. I will give it another once over before I upload it. I was in a hurry to do that. Okay, so those are the stretch goals. Let's see if there's any where these stretch goals rules going to end up. Okay, great question. So the stretch goals. So that's a good question. I should clarify that. So the environmental traps and hazards, they're going to be in the Monsters of More book. Okay, so it's going to be monster more. It's basically stat blocks, static monsters. So the traps and environmental hazards are going to be in the Monsters of More book. The adventure is going to be with the adventures. So if you're getting the adventure pack, then that's included there. And then for this, the More Companions, High Legs Mounts, that's going to be in the Monsters of More book. And again, all that. So all of the new content pretty much is going to be in the Monsters of More book. Like the adventures are going to be with the adventures. Okay, great question. Hope that answers your question. The Revenant live stream, just Bono. I don't know what that question is in reference to. Thank you for your donation. David, did you donate something? Thank you if you did. Thank you. I don't know why it says thank you for your donation. Okay. All right. So yeah, I would like that too. I'd like to add a lot of things. Okay, so let's talk about let's talk about the mockups. I want to show you guys the mockups that we have. So everything, and it's in here already. There's everything in here. Physical pledge tiers. Okay, so the special editions box. So let's talk about that. Then we'll go to the extras box. So the special editions box, they sent me. And it's heavy. I think it's 8 pounds. Let me see. And yes, I do have a scale right next to my desk for when I'm shipping things. 6.5 pounds. 6.5 pounds. It's light. It's light, guys. So they did send me this, and I have some changes that I'm going to be making. So I want to run those past you guys to see what you guys think. Okay, so currently this is what it looks like. And this book here is white because it has a slip cover on it, a dust jacket. So if I pull them out, so this is the core rules book, and I'll go and take the dust jacket off. So I think I'm going to have a dust jacket on all 3 of the books. Oops, sorry. In case anybody likes the original art, you could definitely, you can keep the dust jacket on or not. So what I was trying for this one was, I was like, I just told them, send me like a cool looking thing. So this is what's called a 3-piece binding, where the spine is cloth and it feels really nice, and then the front and back. So like 1, 2, 3. The front and back are printed paper or whatever else we want it to be. So this is the core rules, and then the monster book is like chunky. So the monster book is I think thicker than all 3 of the first books combined. Let's see. So here I've got all 3 of the first books combined, and then we have the monsters book. Yeah, just about. I think in terms of page count, it's actually bigger. So the monster book is going to be a big chunky monster book. So more content in here than the original 3 books combined. And then the GM guide also. Okay, so that is those 3. So those 3 books. Oh. And then you can see in here there's 2 other boxes. But before we get to those, so what it is currently is that this slipcase is actually magnetic, and it opens up to become the GM screen. And then it can fold back up and easily become your box again. So I might be changing this to something slightly different. I want to show you guys that in a second. But so this would be the slipcase and GM screen. There's these 2 other boxes. These are magnetic closing storage boxes. One for the adventures and all the extras that come with the adventures, and then one for the heroes. So there's just the 15 heroes zines in here. And if you compare the thickness of the heroes book originally to this, like you'll see like how much new content there is, and there is a cool little handy dandy lifting ribbon. So this is how much content is in the new heroes box compared to this. So I don't know, maybe three or 4 times as much content in here. So I think it'd be cool to have like a little box. You know, it's a hardcover box with the zines inside that you can sort of separate out. So that's the heroes box, and then the zines are in this one. Again, it has another lifting ribbon, and then here's like the folded zines. Some of the adventures are going to be so there's a quad fold adventure. I really like this sort of style because like. So on the front you have the cover. Here's the pitch, and in the back like a summary and like some other things. But when you open it up, here's like quest hooks, information, stat blocks, like different things. And then when you open it up fully, you open up this side, like you have the traveling encounters and a map, and you don't have to flip. You don't have to flip pages. You just have everything like at your hands, like right in front of you, all at the same time, which I really like. You have a lot more flexibility to put lots of things on the page without having to worry about the page constraints, because like it can unfold multiple times. So there may be some 4 fold adventures in there. Yeah, okay. So that is what I'm thinking. So the cool thing about this is that since the slipcase is also the GM screen, for shipping and customs and all that, I've mentioned this before, for shipping and customs and all that, it is, the special edition books are going to have an extra bookmark so that you can mark multiple different things. I think the bookmarks are going to be 2 different colors also, like 2 cool complementary colors. And the art that is currently here, the mock-ups, they're almost certainly going to change, and they might change a lot. I'm working with Earl Lan, the fantastic artist who made the most of the book covers, to make something special for these. So I think worst case scenario, it's going to look like cool like this, and maybe the whole thing would be cloth and stamped foil. I think that would be cool and classic. But if we can make it even cooler, then I'm doing that. So I think this week he's going to have the first sketches for me of what I'm talking about. So maybe later this week I'll do a live stream to show those off and sort of explain the thinking behind them. But I think that's going to be super, super special. So I'm working with him on that. So that's why the GM screen is also this. So you can display your box this way on your shelf, or there can be art on the back that you can display. All right, so I want to show you the extras box now. I'm going to show you guys the extras box. Let's see if there's any. Love the extra bookmarks. Nice. Yeah, and it's nice to be able to add things if you want some but not others. So I think I might ask them to make this like a little bit thicker so that you guys can put like the session's over, the GM says, all right, everybody, give me your character sheets. I'll just stick them in here. So I might ask them to make this a little bit bigger so you have space to put extra stuff later. Or if, later there's the Oracle class, like someone was mentioning, or the courtesan, then we can just add that and you don't have to redo everything. Dice will be included in the extras box and the all-in pledge. The all-in, yes, so dice are included in the extras box, period. The all-in pledge includes an extras box. So the dice are in that extras box. Yes, so the extras box is not in the case, and here's why. If some people want just this, some people want just this, and they should be able to do that. But more importantly, if both of these shipped together, what customs would see is, so let me start this. So if this shipped to you, customs would see books, and they would. David, thank you so much for that donation. I don't think you guys heard it, but it read it to me in my ear, so I couldn't think while I was reading. Happy to donate again. Could a stretch goal be rules for downtime activities like craft? Yes. That is on the list of stretch goals. Yeah, that definitely could be. Thank you for the donation and great question. That is on the list. I would like to do that. I don't think I would. I don't know that we're gonna get so so in the weeds as much as like I don't want to get too in the weeds with that, but maybe a little bit more guidance on downtime activities might be cool. Okay, so if you purchase this, it's $400, but it's books. There should not be. I'm not a lawyer, but countries treat books differently than other things. So books rather than merchandise. But if this was added to it, even if this is just a small portion of the whole thing, it's on customs it's going to say that this is a game set or merchandise or whatever. They'll classify it some other way. So you'll be dinged on the whole thing rather than just like the portion that this makes up. It's weird. It's weird. But the idea is that these two things will sit on your shelf next to each other. They're going to be the same height and they're going to be the same style, and they will fit together very, very nicely. So they are a set that sort of sits next to each other. So that's the idea between those. Lewis, you can if you want to. I might turn it off if it's too much. Yeah, nice. All right, very cool, very cool. If I get the expansion box and the extras box, am I missing anything if I get the expansion box and the extras box? So you get all of the content. You get all the heroes, you get all the things. But the special edition covers, so the box that has like all of the things in this box has like just some extra little things. So for instance, like the GM guide, the GM guide in the back has a map. It has a foldable map of the region, and I hired a new artist to redo the map to be spectacular, frankly. So he's working on that. So that there's going to be a map of the region and an improved map in the GM guide. In the core rules, let me see. I think it's in the front cover. In the core rules, there's going to be a set of extra, just a small thing, a set of extra, I think 4 or 5 cards, reminder cards for the players. Like you can hand that to a new player. Here's here's what interpose does. Here's just like the basic rules reminders that you can find in the front cover of the book already. So it's not any new content, but it's like little extras and things to help play along. Little special things that are only in the special edition books. The heroes thing, it's going to include pre-printed heroes. Like you can play as stabs, you can play as all the at least some of the different heroes. Like level 1, it's at least going to be level 1. Maybe like the front side will be level 1, the back side will be level 3 or something like that. So you can like start at different stages. But it's going to have like the character art, like other things. So the heroes is going to include pre-made heroes. I would like to include, like, this is a thing from Mouse Ritter. I may have like a pre-made terrible, pad, not terrible, like you could tear it off, pad of pre-printed character sheets. I think that might be cool, like blank ones. And then the adventures are going to come like, oh, this is a mystery adventure. It'll include like handouts for your players. Like, here's the clue. Like, you can hand them, here's the clue that you found, and they can just like have it and read it. So they don't have to keep saying, oh, well, what did that clue say, and how did it look, and like all of that sort of stuff. Like, you don't need it to play. You can just describe it. So that the all-in box has a bunch of extras, just like little things, like special little things that you don't need to play, but help the immersion and the play and all that sort of stuff. So there's extra little bits in all of the different things there. Because I love that kind of stuff, and anything that can help immersion for me and help me as I'm GMing, where I don't have to like prep it and print it and do all the things. Oh yeah, we're playing tonight. Oh, and my friend brought one of their friends that I wasn't expecting. Now I have to go downstairs and print out, a new character sheet for him, and then we have to, spend 5 minutes. It doesn't take long. You spend a few minutes, filling it out and all this sort of stuff. Like, we don't have to do that. You could just say, oh, here, just play this guy. That kind of thing. But if you get the expansion box and the extras box, you're going to have all the content. You can have like all the cool stuff in here, and I'm ready to show you guys, excited to show you guys what's in here. So you'll get, you have essentially everything, but there are some special things that are only in here. So I hope that answers your question. I do have like 4 jobs. But if I'm being honest, this is taking up like most of my time now. So I have people helping me with the other things. So yeah, it is taking up most of my time, which I enjoy. Like, this is my hobby also. So like, I spend my hobby time on this. So this is not like a 9-to-5 job for me. This is like, for instance, last night I stayed up till like 1 or 2 a.m. And then this morning I got up at like 6 a.m. and like thinking about all of the cool things that I can do. So this is like my hobby time also, which is fun. Yes, so absolutely. So shipping books. So for instance, in the US at least, if these are all books, and they are, I could ship this media mail, which is tracked, and then I think it's insured. It has a tracking and everything, and I can ship this for I'll just pick it up, maybe like $10. But if this was like merchandise, the same size and weight, it might be $20. So it ends up saving you guys money. So like most shipping stuff, I think I lose money on. So if it costs $12, I'll just say it's just $10. I'll do that kind of thing. But like the original book set, the 3 books, I think it cost, like, postage was like $6 to the US. But if that was something else, it would have been like twice as much. So yeah, having things separated out saves a lot on shipping and customs and taxes, and even when it's being sent from the factory to me on tariffs and other things. So like when the big tariff scare happened last year, there were cards inside the Nimble box set. So even though most of this was books, because there were cards in here and a GM screen in here, the whole value of this thing was the whole thing is a game. So if it was like $95 that you guys bought it for, $150 or whatever it was, so they say, oh, $150 game rather than $75 books, and then like a few other things. So they just look at the whole thing, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't want you guys to have to pay that much on customs and whatever. Okay, so will the expansion box and extras box cover all content that's current for Nimble? Yeah. I think so. Yeah, everything that's released. There might be like some adventures that are like in drafts or something that are not being published yet, or that kind of thing. But everything that's ready. Like the community is already volunteering a lot. Jack, thank you so much. On Discord, people are constantly finding ways to help and stuff. I will need some help editing. Like I've paid editors in the past before, but like honestly, like they do so. But it's like the community who like cares about the thing and they're reading it and like will spot things that like, oh, this isn't a typo, but like here you called this ability this, and here you did it, something else. Like people who know the mechanics and understand it and care about that. I will need a lot of help with editing and playtesting once we get to that in like 3 or 4 weeks. So that would probably be the best way. But yeah, just like spreading the word and being cool in the Discord and helping other people in the community and like type it in the YouTube comments. Like don't be like the annoying like person like, oh, just play this other game. But yeah, just like getting the word out. Like I'm definitely not getting burnt out. I'm pacing myself. I'm setting realistic goals for myself now that I know how long everything takes and how much everything costs. So I'm careful about that kind of stuff. But if you want to help, I'd certainly appreciate it. 4 jobs. They're not all full-time jobs. They are all sort of like, as I have time and availability, I do them. Character sheets with the color-coded skill stats and off-white dimension books. Yeah, I like some cool full-color character sheets. I think would be sweet. We'll see. Could the class scenes include pre-gen character maybe as a stretch goal? So the class scenes I could just show you. Like for instance, the Oathsworn here at the back, they include some quick builds that you could just run right here. Like level 1 here, just look at this one. So like here's the stats, here's the skills, here's like your 2 things, and like there you go. So it's gonna have that. I don't know. But I think that the extras box will have some pre-made character sheets that you could just hand to someone, and it'll be on like a little bit thicker paper, so it'll last. Possibility on the all-in-one book. Probably not for this campaign, but maybe in the future. Probably not for this campaign. Yes, please like it. Okay. Yeah, community's been great. Community's been great. I can't really ask anything more of you guys. Play testing and being involved in the streams and stuff. Once the campaign's over, I'll probably be doing like at least brief daily live streams or like frequent live streams, maybe here on YouTube, maybe on Discord. Like if it's just like a quick little thing, I'll just like, hop on the Discord stage and like, a dozen people will come in and like give me feedback on things. That kind of stuff, that just real quick and rough feedback is good to have. Yeah, Bob's great. He's super cool, and I like his new D&D dungeon that he has in his basement. No, so everything is sold out. So this campaign is to reprint the everything. So this campaign is to reprint it. So they will not be in stock before this campaign is finished. They will be in stock after this campaign finishes, because that's what the goal of the campaign is. So welcome. Is a GM screen in the stretch goals? Yes. Okay. GM screen is in the stretch goals. That one was already unlocked, so you can add that as an add-on, or it's already included in the all-in pledge. Okay, so I want to show you guys the extras box. So what is in this extras box? Over 300 cards and other physical goodies to enhance your game night immersion and ease of play. So that is the goal of the extras box. That's the goal of the extra box. So I want to show you some of the things. So it is a big chunky box. So right now, one of the good things about having a manufacturer that can send me these roughs is that you see how they're like slightly different size. There you go. They're slightly different size. Okay. So I have a list of things, a list of feedback that I'm going to be sending them. Like, no, they're gonna be set on the same shelf. They got to be the same size to satisfy OCD. So when you open it up. So it's going to be a big magnetic box. So when you open it up, there. So here is 300. I think it's 300, maybe 320 cards. I'll have to count them. And let's it'd be better if we can see what's going on. Okay, so so here is 300 cards are going to be shrink wrapped like that. And then there are these card dividers. There's, I think, 15 or 20 different card dividers. This hero, that hero, this hero, that hero, or it'll be like monsters, magic items, like to separate the different categories. And that they'll have like labels and art and cool stuff on them, so that you can organize things really, really nicely. And then here, there are 2 little drawers. Look at that. Look at these little storage drawers. So this one it is going to include tokens. So there's going to be, and let me see if I can pull in this other camera. Let's see if this works. Let's see if it works. Does it work? Is it working? It's not working. Let me see if I did a plug it and unplug it. If it doesn't work, then that's okay. Maybe we'll do something else. Give me 1 second to see if I can get it working. Confirm. It's connecting, establishing connection. There we go. All right. So let's see if we can. Properties. 9.3. Okay. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to see if I can add the camera. I had it unplugged and it didn't like being unplugged. Video capture device. All right. Device 9.3. Okay. There we go. All right. That's working. Cool. Okay. So in here, so they, I didn't tell them like how many tokens I'm gonna have or whatever yet, but so the idea is, it's like other games and things will have like little standees that you can use, and like, oh, I've already got a mini for my hero, like yeah, that's cool. Like probably most people will, or a lot of people will at least. But like for the companions, like, a little standee for stabs, or a little standee for like, the little henchman, the hireling that you have that you can follow you around. So there's gonna be standees for those. At least that's the plan right now. Everything's subject to change. So there'll be little standees for those. But I would also like to have like little reusable. So like I've got, and I just doodled on these to sort of show you what I was talking about. So I've got like a bunch of minis. I probably have like a dozen different goblin minis that are like 3D printed and stuff. I can't always find them. They take up a lot of space, so they're in like one of a dozen different drawers or bags or boxes. I can always find them. So like I'll find like 3 goblins, but I need 7. So I can just grab like, all right, here's your goblins, right? And then on the front, so like say, this is a goblin and he's ranged, right? Or this is like a bandit and this is the bandit bow hunter, and you flip it on the other side, and this will already be drawn for you, right? You flip it on the other side, and here is, all right, all of a sudden now here's a melee. Here's a melee guy. So like you can just tell quickly, oh, this is a ranged guy, this is a melee guy. So it's not going to have the actual like monster art on it. Most likely, it's going to be more generic tokens that'll look cool. And I think each one will be numbered also, just like a little number. I like how Gloomhaven does this. So they have, let's see if this works. They have like little monsters that have a number. So like, oh, I damaged number 4. Like which of the mushroom spiders did you attack? Oh, number 4. And you can write that down. Oh, this just fell off. And I think this is upside down. Let me rotate this. Transform. Rotate 180 degrees. There we go. Now it makes more sense to my brain. Okay, so I think what we're gonna have in there is a bunch of standees for the companions. But also reusable, cool little tokens that you can just quickly throw in there. You can say, oh, and then there's like, 4 different, goblin minions, right? And they're just on the battlefield. So I think that'll be cool. And there'll be different things, and so there'll be medium-sized things and small things. This is like probably small-sized. There'll be small things, medium-sized things, large, maybe one huge thing. But yeah, so these little monster tokens, you can like flip it over. This is here's a heavily armored guy, and then on the other side, it's just like an unarmored guy. So that is going to be inside one of these little drawers. So having handy little tokens that you can take with you and easily use and represent things on the table. But in addition to that, something that will be cool is like other games, they have like double-sided things. Like one side has this and one side has that. But what I would like to do is have like one side, so like this is from Gloomhaven, there's like a table and chairs. So on this side, oh, this is a table, like obstacles. This is a table and chairs, and on the other side, oh, it's a fallen tree trunk. Or this side, it's a fallen tree trunk, and this side, it's a fallen column, like that you use in a dungeon. This side is for like in a forest, this side is for in a dungeon. Or like this side, oh, it's a bush, and on that side, it's a crater, right? Things that you can use so that your battle map isn't just like a blank white canvas, so that your battle map has obstacles and places to hide and things to run around and like cool things to do to make the combat a little bit more interesting. So like here's from Mice and Mystics. So so we're not going to do like things like hearts and stuff, but this is the idea. So just like little tokens that you can use at the table to make running and playing the game more interesting and easier. So there's that's going to be included in the environmental hazards thing if and when we unlock that. Any possibility of action cards being stretch gold into metal coins? I don't want to say no, but probably not. So, so the thing with the action cards is that like on one side it is just action cards, so you can just track, and like other people can see like, oh, how many actions does Evan have? Like he's got 2 actions, he's holding 2 cards. So like other people can see it, right? But also like you can sort of like you can tactilely like track your actions. Again, you don't need this, but it's like a cool thing. But the other side has these so if you just want like a little bit more tactical stuff in addition to the tactile thing, if you want it to be more tactical, then you can have like one of 3 different kinds of action cards. So here's a regular one, here's an inspired one. So if you discard this when you to roll dice, you can roll with advantage. If you discard this when you defend, gain plus key armor. If you discard this to move, then you have +2 speed. So you have that one, and then you have this one that does the opposite. So like, ooh, I need to defend, but it's only against like a little. I've got 3 hit points left, but it's only a goblin that's attacking me. I don't need to use all my armor, so I'll discard this one. But I really want to make sure I hit with this attack, so I'm going to discard this one, and then like this thing, I only need to move like a regular amount. So you can decide, like it's not complicated, but it's like just a subtle little tactile strategy that's added. And the cool thing about this is that you can also, your GM can shuffle in, oh, you're in the swamp with a witch. I'm going to add 1 additional Bane action to your hand if they wanted to, so that when you shuffle, like your turn ends, you shuffle and you draw 3 new cards. So like I got lucky, I didn't draw this one, but like you could have instead drawn like 2 Bane actions. Like just a cool little way to do that kind of thing. If you wanted to, you can shuffle like multiple decks together, and some turns you might have like 2 inspired actions and 1 regular action, and you could do something cool that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. In other turns, you might have like 2 or 3 Bane actions, like, ooh, like what am I going to do? Like I might need some help this turn. That kind of stuff I think just adds like a little layer of cool tactical stuff that I really, really like, and sort of itches my brain in a fun way. So that's what it is. Accessibility issues. Oh, let me see. I've had good luck with colored enemy tokens instead of numbered ones. That way I don't have to dig around to do number 1 each time. I don't know what that second part. So maybe colored instead of numbers? Maybe. Maybe it'll have like a little icon like, a diamond or a heart or a spade or a club, something like maybe that instead of numbers. But I think numbers is fine. I don't understand what the second part of this means. Gets too late to have an alternative everything new pleasure level with a new hero's handbook in place of. Yeah, yeah, maybe in a future thing, but for what we're doing in this campaign, yeah, that I don't think we can do that here. I don't want to say never. Like if we hit $1 million or something, like maybe. But I did ask the manufacturer and I said, hey, can we just take these zines and just like smack them together and put a hardcover on them? Like how hard would that be? And normally the manufacturer is like, oh yeah, no problem, we could do that. But he was like, no, we'd have to like relay out everything. Like we're gonna have to redo everything. Like they were like, we can totally do it. But it would not be an easy process. So even though all the content is there on the manufacturing side, it would be just like adding a completely new book. So it wouldn't be like an easier, quick thing. Okay, so that is the drawer number 1. And we have space. So like this is a bunch of tokens, but we have space to add a lot. So I want to have as much cool stuff in here as we can. So that is drawer number 1. Drawer number 2 is going to include the dice. So just to show you, the dice, just to show you how much space. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Just to show you how much dice like this. So this is like five sets of dice that are in here. And like you still have space for more. So you can fit like all of the dice that you would possibly want to take with you and to share with other people. You can have it inside this cool little drawer that just fits right in there. And I think that's just the coolest little thing. I love having like cool handy storage things that we can use to make not just playing the game, but like running the game and all the things around it a little bit better. So here we have just a big chunk of 300 and something cards in the divider cards. And this whole box is going to be just a little bit taller also, a little bit taller. So we'll have more space for you to be able to sort of flip through these, or maybe more space to add a couple more cards. I'm not sure yet. But what is this? So that's half the box. You underestimate. I'm sure you could. Yeah, I'm sure you could. You have more dice. But well, what is this? What is this? So this is. So it doesn't have to be this. It could be something else. But I thought this was just such a cool idea. So this comes out and is a dice tower. That you can remove from your thing. So I put all my dice in here. So it has a removable dice tower, and I think we might do like a Brandon Lee Mulligan kind of thing where like this is covered in skulls and spooky and stuff. So like you take this out when there's like a big important roll. Like he has like a dice tower of doom kind of thing. But yeah, that one shot right out. It always rolls crits. It doesn't always roll crits. But this is a removable dice tower inside your little box that is super duper cool. And it's going to be wrapped with custom art. But they did a really good job with it. I'm going to have to tweak it just a little bit. So it doesn't have to be this. Maybe it could be something else. But this is what I'm leaning toward right now, having a cool little dice tower inside the box that you can just take with you for important roles and that kind of thing. So that is the extras box. That is the extras box. And I haven't got into like what all cards are in here yet. But if we look at here, there are like just a ton of cards, and each one of these, or at least most of them, are going to have new, never before seen art. So like in each of the different classes has its own like artist and its own style. So like the Shadowmancer has like the spooky sort of evocative, like creepy style. The Berserker is like deep red and angry and like high action, high impact. And then each one of the different companions are getting their own cards as well. or at least a lot of them. I'm not sure how many we're going to be able to fit, but like each of the different classes, they have their own vibes, they have their own art. And is this very expensive to produce? Yes, yes, it is. But is it also super duper cool? And like, look at Cheat. Look how cool that is. Sunder Armor, Fainting Attack. So it's this is the kind of thing that, like, you know, that I really enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoy this too. Um, let me see. Oh, and one thing about the cards, there is enough space for, oh, you guys can't, there is enough space, here's a sleeved card, to fit the cards if they're sleeved. So I made sure that there's enough space here to fit sleeved cards as well, not just the raw cards. Yeah, you could always take the dice tower out and replace it with something else, but this is actually kind of expensive to produce. So I'd like whatever's here to be something cool and useful and like, wow, that's awesome. So if I can think of anything else that that could fit there, then I'm open to that. I'm definitely open to that. But the thing is that like I'd love to have 1,000 cards, but like each card costs a lot of money to produce. Like the new art, the layout, and then the weight of it. So each new card. So could we have 350 cards? Maybe. So when the box is extended a little bit, like we could fit a few more cards in there. We could fit more in here or do something else, but I kind of like the dice tower idea. I want it to be something useful, like that to make, you know, cool dramatic moments happen. Yeah, good point. So that's why I ordered the physical thing, and actually some of my bigger dice were getting caught in like one spot if they like canted at like a certain angle. So yeah, we'll make sure that that's cleared up. That's why we order the physical samples. Okay, so that is what is inside the extras thing. There's going to be other stuff that is unlocked probably. Yes. Yep. Cards are going to be for all the classes, so I'm planning on all of the classes having their abilities. So all the spells, at least all the main spells, and then all of the main class abilities, like things that you would have to write on your character sheet, and you don't really want to have to write like a whole spell on your character sheet. Here, just take the spell card. So it's going to be that kind of stuff. So some of the passive abilities that you don't really need to use and reference a lot, those may not be made in cards, so it depends on how much space I have. But like things like healing potions, like here's a healing potion, or something that I would love to do, and we'll see how much. Hey, Stabs, we'll see how much space we have to fit some of these things. But like, imagine like we have all these cards. So like they just kill the big boss, or they just open up a treasure chest, and I make a deck of like a couple of pieces of like kind of like not that great loot, like, you know, mediocre loot, and then like two pieces, like two sort of like regular good loot, and like one like really good piece of loot. And yeah, we could definitely do. Oh, you guys didn't see that. I only heard it. Because you preview with a demon screen. Yeah. I'll get to that in just a second. Just 1 second. Okay, so we have like 3 pieces of like kind of like crummy loot, and then 2 pieces of good loot, and then 1 thing of like very good loot. And all right, we just shuffle it together, and you just hand it out. All right, guys, pick one. And they pick one, at, like maybe, you know, or pick 2. And then like they can like that's their loot. I think that kind of thing is super cool. Like adds just a really fun element to the table. You could just say, all right, write down your character sheet, you know, one supreme healing potion. Like, okay, that's fine. So like that sort of thing I think would be really, really fun. Yeah, letting the players pick is like is a lot of fun. And then whoever picks it, like it could feel bad, like just giving, like here, just give the berserker this, you know, just give him a piece of garbage, and then, oh yeah, my favorite player, like, oh, I'm gonna give him this fancy thing. That could feel kind of bad. But if I say, if I have a deck of like, 5 or 6 cards and 3 players, all right, everybody pick one thing. And then like, oh, you picked the worst item. Yeah, sorry. Like that's just the roll of the dice. And this other guy, like he got the best thing. Like that just makes it feel more fair. Makes it I don't know. I think it just adds like a cool little thing for it. So yes, the cards will cover the expansion classes and not just the core classes. Yes, yes. So it's going to include all the spells, also the Earth spells as well. So all of that has been taken into account for the cards. Okay, so can we get a preview of what is of the DM screen? I personally do like the NPC names. Maybe we don't need too many, but if someone says, well, what's their name? Like I need to have like a bunch of names, but more useful things, yes. I think we could definitely do that. I'm not sure what's going to be on it, but you'll definitely see that in the development process. Useful things, reminders, like things that I can never remember, like the conditions or like a chart of how much damage should a level 7 monster do, like if I need to add like one more monster to this encounter, that sort of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that's going to be there, and I appreciate your donation there. But I want it to be as useful as possible is the goal, and I'm definitely open to feedback on it. This one is going to be a 5-panel DM screen, almost certainly. Oh, and let me talk to you guys. I want to talk to you guys about some changes that I might be making to make the all-in the all-in slipcase even better. So I want to run past you guys some thoughts. And then I'll get to some more of your guys' questions. Let's see. I'm just pulling something up real quick. Okay. So, the current special editions box I think is a cool thing, but I'm always asking, can it be made better? And maybe it can't. Maybe this is perfection as far as RPGs are concerned. Maybe this is as good as it gets. But if I can make it better, so we have all the books, and then they're inside a slipcase, and the slipcase becomes the GM screen. I think that's a cool idea. If that's what ends up being, I think I'll be happy with that. But can I make it even better? I want to show you guys this. So what's good about the slipcase? So like on the shelf, you can see the books right away. Like I've got a set of books over here. You can like see the books, but they're in this cool case, and I really like that kind of thing. So I like being able to see them. And then, but if I don't want to see the books, you can always turn it around to the back, and then like you can see like the cool art that's on this side. So I think that's a bonus. But also like slipcase, like things sort of come out a little bit easy. Like what if it could be like a little bit more secure? Like I really do like the idea of a box, because you can shake it and like the stuff's not gonna come out, especially like your fancy like super deluxe Big Mac books, right? So what if, so someone in the Discord, and I appreciate all you guys' input and stuff. So someone in the Discord shared this image. So it is a slipcase with books inside. I don't know what this is from. Memento Mori. I don't know what this is, but so it's a slipcase with books inside, which I like the different colors. And then around the slipcase, as sort of a box cover, is the GM screen. I kind of like that idea. I kind of think that's a brilliant idea. Same kind of vibes, but is it better? Ooh, I don't know. I think it might be a little bit better. It might be a little bit better. So I kind of like that. What do you guys think about that? And this one just goes around 3 of the sides. So if I were to do it, it would like start in the front and wrap around all the way back to the front again. So it's 5 sides. So it's gonna be the same size. It'll be a little bit bigger actually, but this would wrap all the way around it like more securely. And then the slipcase on the inside is going to be a little bit more sturdy, since it's not held together with magnets. It's actually glued and papered together. So that might be cool. So that is one thing that I was thinking of. But then the other thought that I had, like, if you have the slipcase and then like a GM screen sort of like sandwiching both sides, and you just pick up the GM screen, like what's to prevent it from just like slipping off? But I think they can very easily like print. Let me actually go to full screen so you guys can see this. They can make it, and I think they can do this. So you see the extras box, how it's sort of indented here. There's like this little overhang. So if we just do it that way, we have an overhang that way, and the slipcase sort of fits inside this thing, and there's like an edge for the slipcase to catch on, so that everything is mechanically held together. I think that might be like a best of both worlds kind of thing. You have a little bit bigger GM screen, and the thing is covered all the way. And if you like to show off the books, you have the slipcase. If you like to show off the books, like you still have this, but you have this other option of this that's a little bit more secure and a little bit more substantial. Yeah, I kind of like this. I kind of yeah, magnets can avoid the slipping. They can help, but if it's held in place, it will be held in place by magnets, just to prevent it from like flopping. But like if you have like 8 pounds of books, then like maybe you want like a little bit more insurance than magnets, like just a little bit of like mechanical, like if there's like a little lip here on the top of the slipcase, like the magnets are holding it there, but also like it's sort of locked in that way. Yes, there's going to be a new GM screen with different stuff included. The new GM screen, slightly different size. It's going to be 5 panels. The previous GM screen was really cool. So that this is the mock-up of the previous GM screen, but it was a Z fold. So as it was stored in the box, and you can fix this, but as it was stored in the box, it was what's called a Z fold. So it was like this. So that when you're ready to play, it sort of likes to maintain that Z shape. So you have to sort of like bend it and make it be shaped like the pleasant arc shape. So it's a little bit fiddly, but like not too bad. Nothing that was unovercomeable. So the other one was a Z fold. So this one would just start off in the shape that you want. So it would sort of slip around the books like this. It'd be slightly different shape, and then it would magnet together. So when you unmagnet it, it's going to want to maintain that cool round shape to protect all your secrets from the filthy heroes. Yes, there will be different stuff inside. Some of the stuff is going to stay the same, like some of the most helpful stuff. So maybe like the chaos table isn't going to be there. Since there's so many more subclasses, the chances of someone picking the chaos mage is a little bit lower. But yeah, it's going to have like the most useful stuff that you might want. You think it's better because the slipcase will be sturdy? The wrap is better as long as it matters? Yes. A screen/wrapper on top of the box. Yep. Having go around only 3 sides lets you turn it to still show the book spines. I mean, you could just like have it on your shelf off and just like stick the GM thing next to it also. So like that's always an option as well. Fixed D&D, I like your username, and thank you for your time. I like it, especially okay. The GM screen could go inside instead of the outside. Okay, great point. And there's a problem with that. If the GM screen is part of the packaging, so for this one, so for this is a set of books with a slipcase. Okay, the slipcase just so happens to have a second function that you can unfold it and you can read stuff on the inside. And it can act as a GM screen, but it is packaging. So this would still be, so even though there's like technically a GM screen or something that could be used as a GM screen here, it is still just considered books for shipping and customs and importation and exports and duties and taxes and all of that. So it's still just books because the GM screen is part of the packaging. So that is why there's other benefits to it as well. I think like just having magnets is cooler, and there's other benefits, but if the GM screen is wrapped around it, acting as packaging, it's books. But if the GM screen is instead inside of it, and it's only a GM screen, then now it's a game set. And now it's not just books, it's a game set. Or at least it might be classified as a game set. So it's weird. It's weird that you have to think about these kinds of things, but when you're importing like a bunch of things and exporting things and shipping things to thousands of people, like all those little things matter. And if I can save you guys $10 or $30 on customs or whatever, then like I want to do that. I definitely want to do that. Plus, it's cool, like just having a GM screen wrapping around the thing. Like, oh, look at this! Like, it just has like the cool like gadget factor, I think. So yes, it could go inside, and that's what we did last time. But there are some drawbacks to that I'd rather avoid. Can you show us how the GM screen mock-up right now stands with the flips on the ground thing? I don't have a camera that can show that really well, but it just sort of sits on the table really nicely, and then like the flaps on the ground provide sort of some weight. They don't magnet together in the current mock-up that I had, but I think that's actually for the best. But just like having the flaps of the back of the thing on the table prevents it from flopping over as well. But we might not need that anyway, so that's something I'm still thinking about. Blue Nova, you shared it? Thank you, Blue Nova. That was really, really cool. Like the book wrap keeps the artwork on the sides. The original design puts the front of the GM screen. So it would put the front of the GM. So the back could have its own art, since the back would normally be on the table when it's a GM screen, and then the top would have the center art. The top would have the center art. But yes, that point is definitely noted. Could the GM screen have half-page insert sleeves so we can add tables? I mean, you can always just like tape something to the inside of the GM screen or use sticky notes or something. I'm open to that, but I don't know that that's entirely necessary. If the box isn't square, would the panels of the GM screen be two different widths? Yes. So currently the width is this wide and this wide. But it works out. It works out just fine. So like you can see here, that this middle panel is a little bit narrower than the side panels, and then the end panels are narrow just like the middle one. So it works out well enough though. So like it still makes that cool, pleasant shape. If magnets inside the screen, you could pin your printed pages. I mean, you could always just like use like clothespins or like just magnets. I don't know. I don't know that the whole thing needs to be magnetic. So part of the packaging, just not on the outside to be scratched. Yeah, you could put like anti-scratch, anti-scuff laminations on it and that kind of thing to make it much more robust, even though it's paper. But like they laminate it with things to make it like quite robust. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. If you want to link to that, I'll take a look or send it on Discord. Confused about the Obsidian content for the core digital extras. Does it have the full core rules in Obsidian files? So you don't need to get any of the extras things to get the Obsidian content. So if you just get the rules without any of the extras, like the Obsidian stuff is included. So all the different digital formats. Yep. Will the slipcase for the books have a cover or a box for the whole thing? Yeah. So that's what we were just talking about, having the slipcase and then something wrapping all around it so that you don't have to worry about the book slipping out. So I think that this would solve that problem. So it's a two-edged sword. Like, it is nice to be able to see your books on the shelf, but if you do want to carry it around, I get that you want to like have something covering it. So that's why I'm sort of thinking something like that. Okay, it looks like everybody's pretty well agreed on this. So I'm glad to hear that, because that's the direction that I was leaning anyway. You said there will be some extras how to play cards in the deluxe book. I assume that it would. No. So all of the extras, they are held in place. They're what's called tip-ins. So I'll just go ahead and show you. Let's see, is there anything in this one? Yeah. So this is the monsters book. So it's a tip-in. So after the book is printed, they use these like little removable, you might have seen these like on cereal boxes, little removable glue dots. And it just sort of can stick in there like that. And it's removable. And so you still have all of this stuff, all the useful content. Nothing is actually going to be obscured by it. It's just a way to include the thing in the book itself. Without like, I don't really like the tear out maps because like it leaves like a little frayed edge and like it's just sort of rough, a little bit lower quality. So I'd rather something that is like nicely done and you don't have to like rip anything. That's always a little bit disconcerting. What about the previous set of cards? All the previous cards should still be good. Like some of the wording on the spells is tweaked a little bit, but all the previous spell cards are still good, and a lot of people would love to have a second set of, like an extra set of the cantrips or whatever. So they're still. I'm trying hard not to make anything outdated. Yep. Cool, cool. Okay, all right, no worries. Do you mean dust jackets with original art? Yes, yes. So I just removed them. So yeah, they would include the dust jackets. That is the current plan. So you have the option of displaying the original art for the regular books, or you can take them off, throw them away, do whatever you want with them, and you can have display the beautiful, gorgeous limited edition art that is to be revealed. Hopefully later this week, I will have the first sketches of it from the fantastic, the inimitable Earl Lan. On the screen be 3 panels, and you could choose whether to affix it to the back sides to see the books. I'd want to see the spines. I think 3 panels is like not quite enough. Like it's like pants that are a little bit too short. Like I want to be able to cover all of my. I want to have some good coverage. So like 3 panels, like they'll still be able to see my secrets. You know, I want it to be a little bit bigger. So I think it'll be 5 panels, but like the 2 extra panels are going to be a little bit shorter. But you could just like fold it up and put it next to the box set also, if you want to display the spines. Cool. All right, guys. I think we're gonna do that then. I think we're gonna go ahead and do it this way. Everything is tentative. So if you see on the we see on the thing, where is it? So like, you know, the art is subject to change. Like I don't want anybody to think that, oh, I bought this exactly. No, you're backing a project to help it be produced. So all the art is subject to change. It will get better and not worse. So it's subject to change for the better is the goal. Yes, the books are still very much A5 size. I love the little the digest. It's like you can hold it and you can open it up behind the screen without like knocking everything over and it being in the way. And you can even have like 2 or 3 of these books open. And you see, like I opened this for the first time. Look how it just lays flat with the beautiful stitch binding. So yeah, it's still gonna be the same A5 size. So if I don't know where my other books are. So if I show you the previous books, so same size as the previous books. So yeah, I really like this format. Its constraints and size like helps things be like more tightly written as well. They're still A5 size. Yeah, 3 panel. Yep. I don't know what $1 million could be, man. That's a whole lot of money. We'll see. I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not expecting to hit $1 million. Like already it's been huge. So yeah, so it would so the Memento Mori one like wraps this much, but I would add a panel here and then another panel here so that it magnetically seals nicely. So you open it, and then it can come off. So yeah, the one that I would do is definitely would definitely be 5 panels. A live play would be super cool. So I did just order a cool live play that for it. So I did order. I did sponsor another actual play acting troupe to do some stuff with Nimble. So if you guys want to be on the lookout for that, I think they just launched their first episode last week. You can take that out. Take a look at that. It's Mage Hand High Five. But there's a second one that I'm even more excited about that's coming soon. I don't know if you get better than the current GM screens. Yeah, so yeah, I'm crazy about this art. Like, yeah, and I'd love to show you guys. Maybe next time I can show you guys like the initial, like how to work with artists. You know, the initial pitch, the initial concept, and then iterating back and forth, and like the comments, and like so how do you choose from all these different things, and how do you do that? I'd love to show you guys some sort of design diaries of like how we ended up where we did with that. Because art direction is a big thing. So sometimes like you'll commission something and like it'll just be perfect on the first shot, and sometimes like you need to like explore a few different areas so that you can, like no I don't want to go this way, but I only know that now that I see like this and this and this. So yeah, I think that'd be cool to show you guys some of the behind the scenes stuff. I think the Stabs plushie has sailed for now. But maybe in the future, we'll get some plushy stuff. I wonder what the odds of CR taking a crack at this are. If by CR you mean Critical Role, I think 0. I think 0. I did email Brennan Lee Mulligan about it, and he didn't get back to me. But that's okay. He's busy. Like I don't expect him to get back. I would have been surprised if he emailed me back. So I think 0. What do we delay and time on the phone? Don't have to. Okay. Was offering that for me easier to use generic tokens when differentiated non-sequentially. Okay, yeah. The numbers is not like, oh, I need to find 1, 2, 3, and 4 before I can do anything. It's just grab any 4 of them if you need 4 goblins, and then like, oh, I damaged 7. I damaged number 3, just so that I can write down like 3 has taken 5 damage. Like I can just do that really quickly. Yeah. The name of the actual play was Mage Hand High Five. I think it's Legends of Maul, Mahl. They're like mice, like little creatures in a mall. There's a lot of puns and stuff. Okay, let's see. Daggerheart fans be furious. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that drama. I don't need that drama. Yeah, they can't do that. I would not expect them to do that. XP level 3 is much higher chance of doing a live play than yeah. I'd love to work with Jacob and his friends. I think that'd be super cool. But Maia from our server, she's a fantastic DM or GM, and she and some of her buds are going to do a commissioned live play, and she and I are going to talk about what it might be. So I think we'll see that sooner rather than later. Okay, so let's see some other stuff that I was planning on talking about, you guys. I have a whole long list of things. Ooh, it's only 2:51. Would you like? All right, so would you guys like to do some live monster design? You guys can submit some monsters, and we'll do some live monster design, maybe from pop culture. Like what would X character look like in Nimble as a monster, or as a companion or something? We do some live monster design. We could do some hero design. We keep working on the Revenant if you guys like. We could do some live card design stuff. We can look at some new rules design things. What would dungeon turns look like? What would some optional rules be? Some new optional rules, or maybe some of the companions like the mounts and stuff. We could get started working on that. I could do some adventure editing. I think that could be cool. We could review some other TTRPGs or games if you guys want. Look for bright spots. Or things to avoid. You know what I've got a lot of RPGs, like you can't see, like, but down here right below all of this, like all of that is like full of like RPGs and different things that I haven't read yet. We could do some other sneak peeks, or how to tell AI art from regular art, like if you're purchasing like stock art or something, if you're working on your own things. All that could be cool. Maybe we could explore what black powder or musket weapons might look like. Yeah. What do you guys think? Legends of Maul. Dimension 20. Man, I think that'd be cool. Brennan Lee Mulligan is cool. Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yep, that's it. Legends of Maul, I think. Yeah, Maia, she's great. She's great. And she's gonna, like, we're putting some money and time into. Didn't realize my shirt was dirty. Putting some money and time into like actually producing. It's not just gonna be like, a live play, just hit record, we'll just start. It's gonna be like edited, produced, and like good. Like we're gonna start in the middle of the action, and it's gonna be like tight and fast and like really show off the game in a cool way, I think. So I'm excited about that. Sweet. When will the Revenant be available to play? It's hard to tell, but I'd like to have it far enough along so that when the campaign ends, I could just send out like the alpha or beta thing, and like we can just start playing then. So as soon as 3 weeks. Could you show us the proof of concept for hazards, possibly? What's your take on dark vision for PCs? So one, I don't like the name PCs because like a PC is a personal computer, or like politically correct, or it means a lot of different things. and I think it's stupid to say player character. So I just say heroes. But that's just like a minor. That's the minor, like just me quibble. So take on dark vision for the heroes. I think it's dumb. Uh, all it effectively means, I know you can see in the dark, and or you can see black and white, whatever, blah blah. Nobody plays it that way really. But what dark vision does is one of those things. It's like it's a new thing that you add to a game that actually reduces the fun or the options available in the game. So like if you have like a bunch of cool like level 3, say you have like 10 cool level 3 spells, and then you add fireball. That is ranged and area of effect and never misses and just deals a ton of damage more than all the other 10 spells. Now you don't really have 11 spells, now you have one third level spell, right? So dark vision is like that. Ooh, we have like light encounters, in the daylight, and we have encounters in the dark, and they're very different. And like an easy encounter in the daylight might be incredibly difficult in the dark, or just like the fear of the dark and like playing with light and torches, all this. Like, oh no, dark vision. Now torches don't matter, and lamps don't matter, and darkness doesn't matter, and like all of these things don't matter. You give the suspension and all this, like it just goes. It just you just eliminate a huge portion of the fun of the game by like having dark vision. And I know there's like, oh, whatever, but I think dark vision is bad. Revenant or new rules, dungeon turns or adventures. Legendary Nimble of a Beholder Dragon, please. Ooh, that'd be cool. I'm gonna add new backgrounds to the book. Maybe. I think the Revenant. I'm gonna add the Revenant as a new ancestry too. That like if your hero dies, you can choose instead of dying permanently, you can choose to become a Revenant. Like my quest is too important to die permanently. You can become a Revenant, and if you die as a Revenant, like you die. You can't like just keep getting extra lives. So there's at least gonna be that. So we'll see. Yeah. Big fan of dungeon turns and reaction tables while running dungeons, make it so much more interesting. Yeah, I think it's cool to do with some. It's cool to do with some dungeons. I would not want to do that with every dungeon or make that like as the new only way to play dungeons. But I think certain ones could be it could be really cool to do that with. Get a sneak peek of some more art if we're allowed. Yeah, let me see if I've got any more art that I could show you guys. I know I do. I absolutely know that I do. Oh yeah, let me show you guys some art for the elementals. So I got some cool elemental art that I can show you guys from. This is from Ashot Avetzian, a cool, I think it's a Hungarian artist. So the elementals that I'm thinking are going to be similar to this. So this would be like a fire elemental and a wind elemental. It's not just like, oh, it's a cloud of wind. No, it's like a cool elemental, like crazy looking creature. And they actually make more sense like together. And some of this art is going to be like tweaked a bit. You pull up this one. So like this one would be like a lightning elemental. We'll add some like lightning things. Like, so this guy's like fast. He starts really, really, really fast. And then, oh, not that. And then here's the art. I just put this together for Behold Stench and Rot by Zed Takashi. Cool things. So like the wind elemental, fire elemental, lightning elemental, and then here we have of course the art for the Death Knights, which I think is super duper rad. And then I can show you guys some more cool things. Let's see. I showed you the gobos already. I mean, this isn't really new art, but I'm super happy with. I'm just like really, really happy with how this one turned out. So this is the cover of one of the adventures. It is actually like designed to look like a Christmas sweater, which I think is just super charming. Nightmare Before Hearthtide, just super duper charming. I love that. Let me see if I can pull up maybe just another couple of pieces for you guys. I don't know if this one was in. You guys tell me. Was this in the original book? I don't think this was, but this is for the Cobra snakemen, Cobra archers. So yeah, I asked for like a little bit of like cool, like Native American kind of like vibes. Like look how cool that is. You know, isn't that sweet? He's got a tail, arrows. Gunslinger class would be sweet. Yeah, maybe. Let me see if there's any other cool things I could show you guys real quick without taking up too much of your time. Oh yeah, all right. I got some new pieces from Justin Gerard. So if you follow his work, you may have seen some of these before. Yeah, I got some new pieces from Justin Gerard for some rat folk. Here's a rat. He's a ratty rat. So there's like a little like a shadowmancer or like just some sort of like bad rat dude. Here's a rat archer, and then like an assassin. I think like his art style is like just crazy cool. Yeah, so some cool stuff from Justin Gerard. And I can show you some from another artist, Karim Bayet. How cool is this for a red dragon? As like a portrait for a red dragon, like that's sweet. I love like the how like it's like just the face kind of thing. I think that's super duper sweet, super duper sweet. All right, that's ooh. One of my favorite pieces is this one, not that one. This one. Yeah, showing the Red City. I might have shown you guys this one already, but I really like that one from Noah Bradley. Okay, that's probably enough art. That's probably enough art. All right, so let's see what you guys... Revenant and Rules. Dungeon actions and monster design sounds sick. Okay. Gunslinger class. Probably not going to be a class, but maybe... maybe like just we'll add the weapons first to see how fun that is. Have I read Fabula Ultima? No, but every time I tune into Knights of the Last Call, Derek says Fabula Ultima at least 1,000 times. So that makes me think, and that is I think his main home game. So that makes me want to get it. So no, all I know about it is that he likes that one a lot. Hey, welcome back. Optional rules for more gritty old school vibes. Yeah. That is. I love your I love your little icon there. Your little Yoda. Yes. I think if we add like dungeon turns, dungeoning rules, and with just like fewer wounds, like all of a sudden like this is like it's completely old school, like, as good as you want to be. It's like the dungeoning rules, I think, is sort of the only thing that would be missing from that. Yeah, so patrons, for the patrons, there is a secret. There's a secret shop for like this kind of thing. If you want a shirt, you can click there. I don't know what all is involved in that, but it sounds like it would be a lot of work. So no plans about that. Mostly because I don't know fully what that is, and that it sounds like a lot of work. Cool. Revenant class, Nimble. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me show you guys real quick what I'm thinking for dungeon turns, because it really is a stretch goal. It's not something that I have planned out fully at all yet, but it is something that I have been cooking on, and I wouldn't mind showing you guys some of the thought process. Okay. Okay, so this is no, what I'm about to show you is just very much my stream of consciousness notes. As I have ideas, I just sort of write them all down, and then like when it's time for me to go back over it, I will select all the good ones and get rid of all the bad ones, and then sort of like fill in the blanks and that kind of thing. So I know it's too small to see, so I'll zoom in just a little bit. So dungeon delving. Might it include environmental stat blocks? Probably, maybe, I don't know. But I think the core idea is 10-minute turns. So you're in an area where time is of the essence. So a lot of times time doesn't matter. Like the goal of the dungeon is to just get to the end of the dungeon, kill the bad guy, and take the, rescue the hostage. Like a lot of times, like that's it. But sometimes with like mega dungeons or other things, the dungeon, the loot that you get in the dungeon and how far you can go is the reward itself. There isn't like a guy at the end of the dungeon and just see how far you can go. The further you go, the more cool stuff you get, right? So there has to be some structure around what it means to like go down this hall. Like the GM has to have some structure on it. So the idea is that, and this just sort of like historically, there are 10-minute blocks of time that you can do something within 10 minutes. Okay, so every 10 minutes, maybe not every 10 minutes, but when necessary, like you're traveling this far and it takes you 10 minutes. Or like you're in this room, so you guys enter, so the party enters the room. It's going to take 10 minutes to traverse this room. But if the party says, actually, I want to search, someone says, I want to like look around and search for things. All right, so you're taking 10 minutes to search an area. There's rubble that's blocking the exit. All right, I'm going to take 10 minutes to start clearing the rubble. Oh, I found this diary. All right, I'm going to take 10 minutes to read the diary. I'm going to examine this carving. So you're doing different things. So each person can say, oh, I'm doing this with my 10 minutes. Someone might say, I'm listening. Maybe there's a door that's closed, and they're going to say, I'm going to listen at the door. All right, well, you can't listen at the door while this other person is clearing rubble, so, like, what are you going to do? Okay, or I'm going to keep watch. So each of these different things will have some impact on what happens next. So everybody, all the heroes, they take all of their exploration turns or dungeon delving turns or dungeoning turns, whatever we call it. They're doing some things, and there'll be like a number of things that like, you can do these things or anything else that you can think of is the idea. Okay, so I'm going to keep watch. So if someone says I'm going to keep watch, and if you're keeping watch, so like everybody has their turn, they say what they're going to do, and then I, as a GM, I'm going to roll a die. I'm going to roll a die, and like I'll just sort of show you. Oh, gotta grab my dice out of the thing. Excuse me. I'm just gonna show you guys as I'm describing it, because I think this will kind of be fun. Okay, so I'm gonna roll the die. So everybody has decided on their turn. So I rolled a 4. Or in reality, what it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be roll 2d6. So I rolled a 4 and a 2. Okay, so if I roll a 1, so let's say if I roll a 1 first, well, that means you have a monster encounter. So actually, I think I need to explain it a little bit first before. All right, so let me actually keep explaining the rules just a little bit before I get into like actually rolling the dice, so I can show you how it works. Let me go back to the main streaming scene. Okay, so players. So I think the players would do this so that they can see what's happening. So instead of the GM doing it, the players would do it. So the players roll 2d6. One of the heroes will do it. So if the primary die rolls a 1, they get a monster encounter. If the primary die rolls a 4 through 6, or if the other encounter rolls a 4 through 6. All right, I'm trying to explain it with my stream of consciousness notes. Okay, so let's say we roll a 1 is the primary die. Like, oh, that's the worst. But it's a 6, so it's going to be like a benefit. So it's some sort of monster encounter. But if it's a 6, like, oh, that's the best it could be. This is going to be some beneficial monster encounter. Maybe it's going to be a helpful little fairy or a goblin that's running away and he'll give you secrets or whatever, but it's not going to be a hard, difficult combat encounter. Like if you have a 4 or 5, maybe it's going to be an easy combat encounter. If it's like 2 or 3, it'll be a challenging one or a normal one. If it's a 1 and a 1, you have a monster encounter, it's going to be a hard monster encounter. Like that kind of thing. All right, so you have a chance of, so you have a 6 and a 4 now. And so you would have a table about this dungeon that says, on a 6, if the primary die rolls a 6, it's this, and if it's a 4, if the other one's a 4, it means this. So you'd be able to combine all these different dice, all these different things to know what happens. Okay, so that's sort of the general gist of what's happening. Okay. And then there could be different kinds of dungeons. Like if they're in extreme danger, you would roll a dungeon turn every 10 minutes. If it's like a risky environment, maybe you roll every 3 turns, every 30 minutes. If it's relatively safe, maybe you just roll, once every hour, like that kind of thing. So you're not inundated with things constantly happening, but there's a structure for other things to happen, and it makes sense. Right. So why would you need these dungeon turns? Let's say that there is a path. You enter this room and there's like this path, and there's a door there, and there's a path this way, but it's covered with rubble. Or this room is making me feel suspicious. I'm going to spend some time here searching this room. So maybe they spend an hour in this room. If it's a really dangerous area, I'm going to be rolling 6 times, and like there's chances are you're going to get an encounter in that room. So like, are you sure you want to spend that much time in this room? Because you're very, very likely to get some sort of monster encounter. But if it's a relatively safe room, then they can take the time to do that. I'm only going to roll once. They can spend an hour searching or doing reading the die, or you're clearing the rubble, because it's a little bit safer, right? So you can do things like keep watch. So if someone is keeping watch and I roll a 1, if I roll a 1 on that on the thing, and there is an encounter, then maybe that person or maybe the whole party gets an additional action on the first round of combat because they were ready and they were waiting, they were keeping watch. Or maybe the party can't be surprised, right? That kind of thing. As a dungeon action or whatever, the heroes might say, like, we want to loot everything in this room. Right, it's going to take you a while to like collect all the things and put it in. Maybe they want to move. Maybe they want to carefully traverse like some small unexplored area, or they could quickly traverse a large unexplored area. They could attempt to bypass a stuck or locked door. So in 5e, if there's no dungeon turns or no consequences to it, all right, there's a locked door in front of you. All right, I want to try to pick the lock. Make a skill check. All right, let's make a skill check. I rolled a 14. Oh, that's not good enough. All right. I rolled a 5. Not good enough. All right. I rolled 8. All right. I'm just keep rolling. All right. I finally got a 19. Okay. You unlock it. Like there aren't really any consequences to doing it. Just like opportunity attacks in 5e, if you have your hero here, and the monster's next to him, and the monster runs away, everybody, let's say you have like a bunch of heroes here. Everybody, so you have a bunch of hero and a bad guy. The bad guy runs away. What is everybody going to do? Because there's no negative consequences to it. There's no reason not to. Everybody's going to say, I'm going to make an opportunity attack. Right? So the whole game is slowed down because there is this action that has no drawbacks. It's an unthinking action, right? So if there's a door here, and the heroes, this guy's being a door now, and the heroes are trying to get on the other side of the door, well, they can try to pick the lock quietly. It might take time, so there's this risk of time, or they can try to bash it down. If you bash it down, you're pretty much guaranteed to get through it, but whatever's on the other side is going to know that you're there. So do you do it the slow, safe way, or the fast, or the fast, noisy way, right? If something's chasing you, maybe you do it the fast, noisy way. But if you have a little bit, so it is this way to allow choices, just like in Nimble. Like if you want to make an opportunity attack, it's going to cost you one of your 3 actions. You can certainly do that, but it's going to cost you something. If you want to defend, you can do that. You can reduce damage, but it's going to cost you an action, right? So it is a way to implement that kind of cool, like I can do this, but it's going to cost me something. In the exploration kind of things, without the DM or the adventurer having to prepare everything. Like the GM also has the fun of like, well, let's see what happens, right? So you can continue to try to pick the lock, but each time you fail, depending on how safe or dangerous this room is, the GM is going to roll for an encounter, and maybe some bad things happen, right? Or maybe some fun things happen. But it is like, yes, you can do that, but you guys know if we roll a 1, there's going to be a monster encounter, and maybe it's going to be a really hard monster encounter. That kind of thing. So that is the thought behind it. You could disarm a trap. Um, okay, what else? Use common sense. A hero must be able to see, or at least hear, in order to keep watch. So, like, I want to keep watch. Okay, well, it's a dark dungeon, and you guys are making a lot of noise. How are you going to keep watch? I need to light a torch. Okay, well, you're lighting a torch. And maybe the torch lasts a certain number of, like, maybe the torch lasts like 3 hours or something. So now you care about how many torches I have. Like, oh, guys, we can't spend too much time in this place because we're running low on torches, right? Like now these, especially without dark vision, that kind of thing matters. All right, so let me see if I can get caught up on chat real quick. Yeah, it has been uploaded. I linked to it. I did link to it. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I did link to it. I'll see if I can share the link with you guys. It's an unlisted video. It's in the announcements. If you check the announcements tab, it is there. Here. So not this one. For anyone who missed the stream on Discord and wanted to see the Revenant initial thoughts and recording, it's right there. I uploaded it. It's just unlisted. So that is there. Yep, talking about dark vision. Yeah, that could be cool. You can see in the dark, but you can't see in the light. Or you can see in the dark, but afterward you go blind for an hour. Like there's like a cloak of invisibility in the GM guide that you can get. That you're invisible while you have it, but you're also blinded while you're invisible. Like those kind of cool trade-offs. Like if you could just be invisible forever without any drawbacks, and like, all right, I'll just be invisible forever. It's not a choice, but choices are fun. Automatic things that just happen are not as much fun. Yeah. How many action cards are going to be included? Enough so that you can do cool stuff with. I'm not sure yet. Enough so that each player should be able to have some of them, or if some people don't want them, then 1 or 2 players could have like a deck that they could shuffle and have more randomness in it. Yes, I have all of the cheat abilities drawn, and that artist was Florian Frey, a Dutch artist. Real cool guy, Florian Frey. He did the cheat art and the Berserker art cards for the art. Yeah, that one was by Earl Land. Death Elemental. That Death Elemental, that is the Death Knight, the art for the Death Knights. Do some cool environment-based random encounter tables. Yep, that's the idea. Cobraman, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that is a stretch goal. It's something I'm already working on. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to hit it. But there's a couple of guys that I'm working with that know a lot more about solo rules and what makes it fun than I know. So I'm working with them. They're making the first, second drafts, and then I'm going to come in and nimblify it and see if I can make it better and do that kind of stuff. Rat dudes, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I really like Justin Gerard. He's a cool guy. His wife is super cool. Have I ever read Dragonbane? I have it. I flipped through it briefly, like on streams mostly. There's probably a better way to do it than Google Docs. Dungeon Turns, it should have the same vibes. Like I don't want to have multiple different systems. Like I ran Kingdoms of Warfare. It was cool, but I felt like I had to do a lot of work to like their large scale combat stuff to make it feel like D&D, because I was running that with the D&D campaign. It was pretty sweet, but it was like a whole nother system tacked on with different words and different things, and so I did a lot of work sort of homebrewing that. So it shouldn't be in a completely separate foreign system. It should be like, you have a turn, what are you doing, right? And it's more freeform since you're out of combat, but there is a bit of structure because, like, there are other things happening around you. So it's that structure that the GM would like to have but doesn't currently have in Nimble that I think might be cool. There was a bit of chat on Discord about some changes to monster stat blocks, mainly the or/then at the end of action lines. Did any of that get addressed, or could we get a sneak peek? I'm trying to clarify some of that. I don't know if maybe it's like if it's a then, like instead of bullet points, it could be 1, 2, 3, right? It could be like numerals instead of that. And if it's bullet points, it's like, choose one. Like that kind of iconography can help. Um, and then like the or then at the at the end of the first thing could be bolded or whatever. I think it's all caps usually now. Yeah, that kind of thing could be cool. I don't have anything to show with that right now, I don't think. So the update to the core books, like the core rules, it's mostly just like errata, and I'm going to try to release that updated PDFs of that. I'm not sure if I will be able to or not, but at least the errata are going to be on the website for free. Mostly just wording stuff, minor stuff, but I haven't gotten to the core rules layout yet. I might tweak some layout stuff to make the layout better, or to answer questions that like to clarify things like, can I emphasize better that the actions recharge at the end of the turn, like things that people sometimes miss. Updates, there will be PDF. So I might tweak some of the art and stuff, like some of the ad pages could be like removed or tweaked or streamlined. Like I can, like, it's gonna be the same page count, but I might make better use of some of the different little things. Yeah, his video helped me sort of coalesce some of the ideas in my mind a lot, and then a lot of what Derek from Lights at Last Call was talking about helped a lot, and some other people. Okay, cool. Hey, Gates of Crystalia. Hey, good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, more to come on that. Looking forward to working with you guys on some stuff. Are these 10 minutes? 10-minute turns, yeah. So it would be 10 minutes in game time. So you're clearing rubble for 10 minutes, not in real time. So like there could be a dungeon that gets stronger every so many hours. Okay, so let me actually show you this. Okay, so players roll 2d6. We talked about that. So what if this dungeon is like packed, like it's spawning season for the kobolds, or like, I don't know, does kobolds spawn? It's spawning season for like whatever. So like there's just happens to be like way more creatures in this goblin den than normal or whatever. So like this dungeon is packed, or this level is busy. It's lunchtime. So maybe it's 2d6. Let me just dump out this dice. Sorry for the noise. So maybe it is. There it is. So if the dungeon, so like there's a cool, sorry, steps. So it's 2d6, but something you could do is you're going to roll with disadvantage. So 6. So you have a 6 and a 5. Or so if you're rolling with disadvantage, you have like a 6, a 1, and a 5, and you're like, uh-oh, like what could have been a really cool thing happened. Like all of a sudden something, isn't that so cool? Look how you can even see some of the gold here. It's like, uh-oh. So you can roll with disadvantage, or instead of d6s, like if it's a dangerous dungeon, you can roll d4s. So you're much more likely to get 1s and fewer of the high things. Or if it's a really easy dungeon, or if you're in a safe spot, or if you pulled some cool shenanigans to make this dungeon easier, you disabled the pirate's alarm bell. So now instead of d6s, you're rolling d8s, or you're rolling d10s now. So the chances of getting higher numbers is better, and the chance of getting lower numbers is less. So there's cool ways you can like squish this to make, oh, this dungeon's really hard, you're rolling d4s with disadvantage. This dungeon's easy, you're rolling d10s or d12s, right? And there could be a chart that like, so like 1 through 6, like 6 is really good, but like 8, 9, 10 is even better, right? 11, 12 is like incredibly good. So that if you're in a super dangerous dungeon, you can't even roll a 5 or a 6, right? But if you're in a regular dungeon, 5s and 6s are possible. But if you're doing like some really cool stuff, like you're rolling d10s instead. You're doing stuff that's like off the charts almost, like there's still chances for bad things to happen, but like you get different flavors of things. Okay, so adding advantage and disadvantage to this might be a cool way to do it. Or it could be subtract 1. So like, I'm not sure how the mechanics are going to work yet, but maybe it's you roll with a disadvantage. Maybe it's subtract 1 from the primary die, so that if you roll, if you roll a 1 or a 2, Oh, you have to subtract 1 from it. So, like, all right, so what normally wouldn't have been a combat encounter is now something's attacking you. So maybe it's disadvantage, maybe it's, subtracting 1 or adding 1 to these different things. It does different things to the curve, to the bell curve of these dice. If it's packed with weaker monsters, maybe you can roll a d4 into d8. That could be cool. So what happens if you're rolling a d4 and a d8? So if a d4 and a d8, and the lower die is the primary die. So, all right, so we got a 4 and a 5. So like that's still pretty good. But the chances of getting a 1, the chance of getting a common encounter is really, really high. But the chances that it's going to be a hard encounter is very, very low. So you could do such cool things with the, it looks like I'm tapping my mouse. You could do such cool things with the odds and make the different dungeons feel different. It's a kobold den at lunchtime, right? Tons of kobolds are there, so you're very likely to get an encounter, or maybe you're rolling a d4s with disadvantage, so you're really likely to get an encounter. But the encounter's probably not going to be that hard of an encounter, right? So I really like all the different options you have just by choosing different dungeon dice. And the players will be rolling the dungeon dice, probably, so that they know what their risks are, so that they can decide, like, are we going to spend more time in this room or are we going to keep going? Like, how dangerous is it? They're going to know at a meta level. I think that's kind of a cool system. Yeah, or if they're making a lot of noise, or if they're moving fast, the rolling d4s. Yeah, guys, let's just keep going. Let's get past this room. All right, next time the dungeon. Yeah, you guys can definitely move fast if you want to. Next time the dungeon is going to take its turn. You guys are gonna be rolling d4s though. Like, maybe we'll slow down a little bit, or like, no, that's fine. I really like that. Like, letting the players know the risks involved is kind of cool. Like, you can tell them that, like, on the first dungeon turn, you're rolling d8s. They know that this dungeon is relatively safe. They get to a new room, all of a sudden, you're rolling d4s. Like, the players know something that the heroes might just have, like, a feeling of. And the GM doesn't really have to say, oh, this area is dangerous, right? You get at a meta level, above the table level, like, the feeling that the heroes in the game get, which I think is super duper cool. All right, let me see if I can get caught up on chat a little bit more. Iglos, I don't know what bag of mapping is. I don't know what bag of mapping is. So Iglos, there are programs. There are programs that let you that will help guesstimate how much a crowdfunding campaign is going to get, like if the trend continues. So you can look up Backer Tracker or Kick Track. I think Backer Tracker is better than Kick Track. They'll estimate it. So I mean, it's at the higher end of the possibilities, but it's possible. So we'll see. We'll see if you guys keep spreading the word. Hitting a million is not out of the. Oh, sweet. Annie Gerard. So I licensed a bunch of Annie Gerard's work. So I would love to use some more of her work. I think her work is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Her work is absolutely beautiful. So yes, I would love that. She did the cover art for the Hexbinder. And thank you very much for that donation. Thank you, and thank you for supporting it at the All In. Yeah, that's awesome. I like the idea for dungeons. You can supplement each dungeon with slight adjustment variation at some minerals. Yes, absolutely. It's like this dungeon is a sewer dungeon, so therefore, like a 1 isn't necessarily a common encounter. A 1 is, sewer explosion. Poop water gets splashed on you. This is a volcano dungeon. Something caught fire. The solo duo stretch goal not have much. No, it's decently popular. It's something I would definitely like to do. It is on the list. I think 10 mechanisms for creative time useful. Okay. Yes, this is true, Lewis. Thank you. Yep, that is up already. If you want to check that out, I did record it. For King's Warfare, that's why they said they did want to do it. Yeah, yeah, I'd like to see, like, I know they were constrained and hobbled by, like, the 5e rules and, like, other things. Um, I like the campaign in that one, though. It's a cool campaign. I like how Matt does his fiction and his stuff, and it's super cool. He's like a an RPG father to me and many others. Um, Chat, please. What is a packed dungeon? A dungeon? Yes, a packed. A packed is. It's just it means there's a lot of monsters. There are a lot of monsters. The opposite of sparse. Any chance to upgrade the monster tokens to sturdy metal material wood resin? Maybe like acrylic or it's possible. It's possible. But then you won't be able to print on it as easily. Maybe. Ah, that's cool. I never heard of it. Will there be an option to just digitally buy the Scion and Revenant during the campaign? No, but you can get all four of the new hero classes for, I think, less than the cost of getting just those two. So if you just want to do that, you can. So just to avoid like having a list of like 5,000 things or like even dozens of things for people to choose from and get lost, I tried to group things in a reasonable way. So if you do just want to get the expansion heroes digitally, you can. So if you don't want the other two, just treat them as free and just delete them. Because later on the store, I think they're gonna just those two are gonna be more than what it is on Kickstarter right now. Okay, so let's keep talking about these. So how can you make exploration? So what is the goal of this? How can you make exploration fun and interesting and easy to run as a GM without a bunch of fiddly rules or bookkeeping? That is the goal of this thing. So that is the goal. So in 5e, usually playing 5e, a stuck door is just an annoyance, right? Because you just kick it as many times, like, all right, I make a might check or whatever, athletic check. All right, I make a bunch of checks or skill checks. I have, even have to roll 7 times. I'll do it, and eventually I'll get a 20, and I'll kick the door down. But so stuck door, failure to open it. So like if you don't open it properly, or if you don't open it on the first try, then like you alert the monsters on the other side of the door. Travel speed, you can travel fast or slow. So if you're going through a dungeon and it's dangerous, but the heroes are really taking a lot of precautions. They ate the sneak weed before they entered the dungeon, so like they're rolling d8s now, right? Are they making a lot of noise? They're moving fast. They're rolling d4s. Yeah, that kind of thing I think would be super duper cool. They could, if they wanted to like catch their breath in a place and like roll some hit dice to recover some of their hit points, they definitely could. And maybe they just want to catch their breath. They want to take these 10 minutes to catch their breath, and they'll roll some hit dice. But maybe instead of recovering hit dice, they roll a monster encounter. And they can't catch their breath, and they can't recover hit points, and they have to fight these monsters now. Okay, so now we have to think about, well, where are we going to catch breath? Since it takes time, it takes 10 minutes. It's written in the rules. So maybe they find a safe place and they barricade the door. So this could guarantee the heroes of a chance to catch their breath without interruption, but it also might increase the odds of a monster encounter afterward because of the noise that it makes or the extra time it takes. All right, we're going to take 10 minutes to barricade this door. We could just take 10 minutes to just rest, but we're going to take 10 minutes to barricade the door, and we're going to guarantee we complete this little rest. We're going to catch our breath safely. We're going to guarantee that. But the risks of that, it just slightly increases the risk of maybe there's a monster counter right afterward, or some other thing happened right afterward. So when the GM wants to engage the players with the consequence of their actions, like smashing a door or attempting to break it open, allowing them, the players, to roll the d4s in this case, each time they attempt it, teaches the players that their actions have consequences and gives them the choice to weigh the risk versus the reward. Or something else cool that you can do, is I want to bust the door down. I want to help. Okay, so you both get to roll So you both get to roll, or like this guy gets to roll with advantage or whatever. So like they're both spending their 10 minutes doing this, right? And then everybody else can do something else. But you're the whole party is, trying to bust the door down. They're almost certainly going to succeed, right? But like then that means nobody else is keeping watch. That means nobody else is searching the room for loot or treasures or other things. That kind of thing is cool. Don't roll too often. This is just like interspersed with advice. You don't want it to be overbearing or fiddly. The goal is to give them interesting choices, not to slow the game down. So if you're keeping watch for monsters, then you can't also go over here and help pick the lock or search for traps, right? So just like if you defend, you can't also, with that action, attack with it. If you spend an actions doing other things, then you can't spend those actions doing these things. So it's giving that structure to prevent like everybody piling on or everybody from like gaming the system, right? There's a structure where like, no, you can't do this because you're already spending time doing that. Maybe some other cool things like twists and things that you can throw in, like if you roll doubles on the, you roll 2 3s. Oh, maybe something special happens. Like double ones is like some terrible, awful fight. Or maybe if you like roll double sixes, like, ooh, that's cool. You get some other, some additional thing, some secret rumor or thing that you wouldn't otherwise have known. Or like, oh, there's a hidden door here that they find that wasn't actually written in the thing. Okay, so yeah, that is the rough draft of my dungeon delving rules that I have so far. They're not quite rules yet, but they're sort of the things that I'm thinking of. Talking about a lot of people talking about dark vision. Cool. All right, guys. It is time for me to wrap up this stream. I want to say thank you guys for all of your support. It's really been amazing seeing how much support has been pouring in. Wow, guys, we're up to 370 already. So I'm going to upload the next stretch goals and then start planning the rest and keep plugging away at the layouts and other things. I hope to release the remaining draft beta subclasses for the remaining classes that haven't been updated yet on Patreon. So if you guys want to check that out, you're welcome to check it out there. But I'm going to be releasing the beta versions for that, and I think I'm going to start removing some of the past stuff as well. 600K by next stream? Probably not, but that would be cool. That would definitely be cool. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I will definitely be in touch and looking forward to unlocking the rest of the awesome stretch goals that we have. Appreciate you guys.